I feel like I'm ready to go. Like I
Okay,
always
kick ass.
I always feel like I forgot to do something, but I'm like, no, lights here. We're
Sure.
hardwired. We're plugged
Sure. You
in.
look great. Yeah.
Thank
Hey,
you.
you know what's really weird is when it showed up on your show on the YouTubes,
Hmm.
we were on opposite sides
Yeah,
to
and
what
we
I'm
did
seeing
that,
right now.
and we did that thing
Did the
when we
fist
tried
bump?
to do,
Yeah, right,
and it
right,
was
right.
the
Is that
complete opposite.
right? Yeah, can this work?
So it would have to be no, you'd have to do it the other side.
Oh, I'd have to do it over here.
It would have to be like this.
Oh, okay.
So now it looks like when we do
Hmm.
the actual video, the audience at home will see. This is
I
where we're
wonder
going to
why.
start the thing.
Action, Wonder Twin powers
Oh yeah,
activate.
okay, ready and
Whoa,
activate.
bam, activate.
Okay.
Okay, right
Hi
on.
everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Me, old head.
Yeah. And
That's a
I'm
good start.
Smurl. Yeah, me old head.
Smurly, and the ants.
Smurling the ants. That's right.
We've got today behind you. I like the pattern, the fabric
Oh, thanks,
behind
man.
you.
It's very
It's
laugh-in.
yeah. That's what I was going to say, like psychedelic '70s.
Sorry.
And then you've got
Right.
an actual poster, an Adam and the Ant
Yeah.
poster. How is that an old poster?
Yeah, it usually hangs over here on my wall, or I guess
Oh,
to viewers, since I'm going to be backwards, it's going to hang over there. But anyway,
and
yeah, I
it
got that.
is of the album that I'm going to be talking about, Kings of the
Yeah,
Wild Frontier.
yeah, Kings of the Wild Frontier. I walked. There's a really kick-ass antique mall very
Nice.
close to here. It's called the Chicago Antique Mall. Very original name. And I walked by the window, and they had this just bang propped up in the window, and I went
Nice.
running inside, and I was like, me now, buy, must have." So it's on a piece of foam core, and it's laminated.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I think it was like $20 or something.
Yeah, I don't. I didn't. I don't have anything in the background. I did bring my record. So
Oh yeah, no, totally. I got that mine too.
But
And
ours. I think ours will probably be different colors because
yes,
mine is a limited of 300 copies. So I don't know what. But
okay.
when we when we get to it.
So I should wait to reveal it.
Well, I don't. Well, I mean, we should. Let's. Oh, Jesus Christ! I'm so bad at this. Sometimes you would think that I'm a beginner, but no. I feel like we should bring everybody up to speed
Okay.
that's watching this.
Fantastic. Yes. Hi, welcome to Summum Bonum.
Yes, that's the name of the show. And what we've been doing is we've been recommending things to each other that are meaningful to us, and it's been albums and movies. And and
Nice.
this is just
It's the spring
it's the
on your
spring,
whole
it's
arm holder.
it's lovely. So yeah, last time we recommended movies to each other. That didn't go very well.
Oh, it went really well.
Oh, I mean, it was a really fun episode, but like neither one of us is probably going to want to watch those movies ever again.
Well, yeah.
So, like, I recommended Wayne's World to Smirl, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. And
Yes.
he recommended Amelie to me, which is one of his favorite movies of all time. So now we're back to albums.
Right. And
And
I would like to say,
yeah,
out of the first one we did was movies, and that was Rambo and Cocoon.
Yes.
And we both enjoyed those.
yes, I did. I did enjoy Cocoon. Yes.
Yes, and so I mean, if anyone's keeping score, I mean, there's got to be a. I'm just, this is pure data right now, right?
Okay.
And then what was the album that we did after that? Refused and Spiritualized.
Spiritualized, yeah. Which
And then
I didn't love Spiritualized, but the thing about me and music, though, and I think I said this on the episode, if you go out of your way to recommend and even like gift me something, I'm already going to enjoy it because it's music, and I just enjoy music so much that like if my wife was like, oh, I want to go see this artist that I don't even like, I'd be like, I don't care. I'd rather go see some music that you love than not go. So
Yes.
so it's different for me when we do albums because it's a different experience. Whereas movies, for some reason, it doesn't have that kind of weight for me
Sure,
because I'm not a
sure.
movie guy. I'm a music
Right.
guy, even though
Right.
I like some movies, but
No,
still.
you got a bunch of them behind you.
I do.
They're piling up on you over there.
Collection is going really
I
well.
like the two Now
Yeah.
you have to go and just to get them all on there, you had to go and what do they call it? Orientations. You have double
Yeah.
orientation.
And then my wife's like, eventually, do you want to just like put a giant shelf we have to put in on the wall right there? And I'm like, but I don't want to take down all these posters.
Yeah, the posters look nice.
I love how they look, and plus they represent a lot of my favorite music. It really does, like,
Yeah, no, it's good.
give you
Okay, so
insight into what I love. Anyway,
so Amelie. Oh no, wait, no. We did so then we did the records, which is spiritualized and refused.
uh-huh.
Okay, you were lukewarm. I really enjoyed refused, so that's good. So far, we're good. We're
Yeah.
we're all so and then after that, and then we just this last one we just did was we
Amelie
went
and
back
Wayne's
to
World.
movies, Amelie and Wayne's World, and I did not like Wayne's World, and you did not like Amelie, so
Yeah.
that kind of falls down. But
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going to happen today.
Yeah.
I have a feeling about what's going to happen today. Okay,
Here is the real question, though.
sure.
Who gets to start? Because
Oh,
I will
man.
happily start.
Oh,
And,
okay.
And then-
Great. I think I started on Wade's World last time, so you have to start this time.
Okay. Okay.
Is that called round robin or rotate or how do we do that?
whatever it's called.
Yes,
So
okay.
I brought the record also. So the record that you sent to me and recommended to me was this one right here, Kings of the Wild Frontier from Adam and the Ants. Oh, you've got one too. Is yours the American pressing as well? Does it have physical on it?
Yes.
Then it's the American pressing. What do
you have?
The
Do you have
American
physical
pressing
on yours?
No,
Okay.
it's the American. Yeah,
Because
so
mine looked exactly like yours.
it's yeah.
Yep. And then of course, I think it would not be an episode of anything on your channel if we didn't just go ahead and just show the epic. Right. You need to show right.
Yeah.
And by the way, does yours say anything on the center?
In the run out, let me
Yes.
see. It says ant music ...
Okay.
That's it.
And then on the backside, it should say, mine says ant music for sex people. Right.
very-
which is
very
what
nice.
his shirts say. They say ant music for sex people.
How old is that shirt?
Sex music for ant people.
How old is that shirt?
Not actually very old. I got it on adamant.com because
He's got a website.
No, dude, you have in America he was nothing. In England, I think in Europe he was everything. Like he was huge.
That clip that you sent me, that was in America, and there was a good number of kids excited for him there.
Yeah, and then there was that whole group of people who were doing this.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, which I also thought was funny.
you can't win everybody over, I guess.
No, yeah, you can't. And so go. But I went to go see him live. When he got back together, when he came out of his troubles, he had trouble.
Yeah, he was in like a mental institution or something.
Yeah, he did something with a starter pistol. He had like a gun or something, and he went to
not only that, he threw a car alternator. He threw a car alternator through a window. I've read about Adamant now, so I know some things about him.
And my reading about it was so sad.
With Mastodon?
I know. I did
Because for those of you out there, for what's coming later, I suggested Mastodon Leviathan, one of my favorite albums, and honestly, kind of out of Smirl's wheelhouse because he's not a metal guy.
No.
So that'll be fun. But anyway, we're starting on Adam.
Yeah. So he got in troubles, and so when he got back together, I went to go see him at the Cubby Bear. And if anyone from Chicago was hearing this, you're going to go, "What? You saw Adamant at the Cubby Bear?" And I'm like, "I know. It must have been like 300 people in there. It was tiny. 2 drummers, the whole band was there. He's there with all young crew. He was in top form for being." I don't know. He's got to be in his 60s, maybe he's early 70s at this point or whatever. I have no idea.
I think he's in his 60s because I think he was born in the 50s.
Well, here.
What would that put him as?
Let me just open up my Adam and the Ants.
Is that a
biography?
Autobiography.
Autobiography called Stand and Deliver. And I'll try to find out when he was born.
Yeah.
No, JK. I'm not going to do that.
He was born sometime before now. We know that for sure.
He's got to be like as old as Sting.
Yeah, I guess maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
They seem like contemporaries of that,
So I ended up going back I went to the show, and it was one of the most amazing things that ever happened to me. Like
Nice.
it was so cool to see. First of all, two drummers is amazing.
Yeah.
And when you're in a little club and there's no I need
Yeah.
Tums. There's see how excited I'm getting?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you hear two drummers in a small club that are just attacking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, that's all I thought for sure that I was going to be on somebody else's social media feed freaking out. You know what I mean? Like somebody was
Yeah.
going to be like, who's this fucking guy? He's on LSD. He's got to be tripping or whatever. Cause
Yeah.
I was blown away.
Yeah.
Like when, you're talking about being 13 years old when you were searching for that, being 13 years old and being excited about music.
Yeah.
I lost my shit
That's
in that
great.
show. And there were a bunch of people who were also losing their shit.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was a happening. I think everyone was very surprised that he was at this little club.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that they got in and then and they were diehards
Yeah.
and all very old.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done talking. Go ahead.
Cool. So, well, what we did before, remember what we did before? Like, we talked about our history with the album before
Yes.
we began.
Yes.
So I'd like to
Yes.
know a little bit about, because this album came out in 1980.
80.
And so, like, I guess I'm interested to know, like, was it a brand new album when you heard it? Like, was it a thing where like songs were on the radio or blah 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 at that point?
Well, I don't think they really ever played him on the radio. And I told you this origin story of this album, and I feel like I lied to you because I didn't mean to. But I went back and I was thinking about what was that record that was over at my neighbor's house. Her name was Lisa Guild. She was very cute, and I was new to the neighborhood and very felt very fortunate to be at her house and in her bedroom listening to a record.
Was she your age or older?
She was a little younger than me.
Younger. Okay.
So like,
So she's still
and
out there.
By the way,
Everybody-
nothing happened. Nothing.
Internet sleuths find her for
Right.
us.
Yeah. Her name. Okay. So this was actually the record that I heard.
Okay.
She had Prince Charming.
Okay.
And I remember because when I bought this record for myself, my dad was like not into the fact that I brought this home.
Yeah.
He didn't have a dad, and I think he was he was an artist, and he kind of struggled with being masculine enough in a Midwestern world that required masculinity.
Yeah.
And then this was, I think, somehow indicative of a wrong turn that I was taking.
So
so
that's 81. So, but was that a new album when you bought it? Was around that time?
Yes, this was a new album when I bought it.
Okay.
So I then went back and
Okay.
got his prior catalog, like many do when you
Yeah.
turn on to a new artist or whatever. And so, which led me all the way back to this one.
Oh,
Dirk
yeah.
Wears White Socks.
So I looked up that album, and there's a different cover for the original UK version, and I
Yes.
like this cover much more. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, it's the first one. I'm like, what the fuck is going on this? And this one, it's kind of like the same sort of thing with the other album where it's got a
It's like a
weird
picture of a video.
Yeah.
And is this more the?
Oh
No, this is
no,
pre.
no. The UK cover is like black and white, and it's a totally different photo.
Oh, yes, isn't it a sock? A white sock? Is it someone in?
It might be. I didn't look closely
yeah.
enough. I was just like,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, and then of course. Stand
Oh,
and
you've got
Deliver.
7 inches too.
Oh yeah, this is the Stand
Stand
and
and
Deliver.
Deliver,
Yep,
okay.
which is so amazing. Beat My Guest is on the back, so that's
Beat
very
My
good.
Guest.
Yeah, that's such an awesome song. And then I have this is the Friend or Foe Adamant thing for Friend or Foe, but not you would think. Goody Two Shoes, which was
Oh,
the
because
big-
so that's from Solo when he went solo.
yeah, this is his solo. Yeah, after but
Which,
I mean,
which technically, from what I've read, it appears like he was a solo artist that just had a band and called themselves Adam and the Ants, and then he finally just went, "Fuck it, I'm the one running the show, and everyone keeps leaving."
well, yeah, Malcolm McLaren stole his first band.
Yeah,
And they became Bow Wow Wow, which I love.
Well,
And,
once again, I know one Bow Wow Wow song, and it's not
that-
anything that's going to win me over. So
that Candy, I Want Candy.
Now that I know that, I'm mad at them because I'm all like, oh, so you guys just ripped off Adam's sound and then made a different fucking album? I mean, that's
Basically, and put what was her name? Annabelle?
yeah.
Annabelle, I think was her
What I
name.
don't know her name, but yeah, the lead singer.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
So Malcolm McLaren did that, and then he formed a new Ants, and that was with Marco, who stayed with him all the way through. I think I don't know. Strip was the record that was produced by Phil Collins, and I know that Marco is
he's
with
got
him
a
up.
record produced by Phil Collins.
Oh yeah, dude,
I
I'm
gotta go
telling you,
find that shit then.
yeah, your boy. Actually, that's where I checked out at that
Oh,
album.
which
There
means
was
I'm gonna love it, right?
Right, yeah. There was a couple of great songs on there that I really enjoyed. Strip is a great song, and Puss in Boots is a great
the,
song.
the reason why I'm really curious is because his stuff is so percussion oriented, and I'm like, and he had Phil Collins right there in the fucking studio. Phil's got to
Okay.
be on that album on
Well,
drums.
I think he probably is, and here's the sad part about it: that record just has one drummer,
Oh, okay. Well, if it's
and I
Phil,
thought that
who
was
cares?
very interesting. Well, I thought it was very fascinating. I figured here's this guy, Phil Collins, is a world-class drummer. It's totally been in prog rock and art rock and other stuff
Amazing
like
drummer.
that. And I figure for sure if he was a fan of Adams
He would
going
have
into this,
insisted on, let's bring in the drummers.
right, or him.
Yeah.
So, but maybe he is on the album. I don't know. I really didn't get that far into it. But he has another album called Vive la Rock, and I really liked that record too. I have that on CD, and I have a couple of CD compilations. One's called Antics in the Forbidden Zone, which is the greatest hits, and then there's like a compilation of his early stuff, which was almost like a leather sex bondage. Is very risque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
he came out of the punk movement.
Yes.
Because,
Yeah.
like, I read that his first band headlined the first Sex Pistols show.
Yes. He did that stuff. Yeah. He was around at the
I don't
very
remember
beginning.
I don't remember what the name of his first band was, but yeah, whatever his first band was called. Literally, there's a famous Sex Pistols show. They played at some art house as their first show, but they weren't the
Yes.
headliner. The headliner
No.
was whatever band Adam Ant was fronting at that point. I don't remember what
Right.
they were called, but anyway, I find that fascinating. But anyway,
Yeah. He was around for the whole deal.
all right. So hey, all right. So okay. So
that's
hot neighborhood girl
Yeah.
had Prince Charming, and you heard that, and then you became a fan.
Yes,
Which brings
immediately.
us to now, because clearly this is music that you discovered at a young age, and now it's still meaningful to you now, which is why you recommended this to me. But I
Yes.
also love the way that you came, because you literally just like found it in the wild, and were
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
have you heard this? And I was like, no. And then you sent it to me.
Yes.
And I kind of like that because, like, so like I almost like next time we do this, I want to do a record shopping trip and just see like what I can find and see if there's like, what jumps out at me that I should recommend to you, and do the same thing where I go, hey, have you heard this?
Would love it.
Because that seems
Yeah.
fun.
And I feel like you got ripped off this time because that Mastodon record must have been like $300. It's like a special art. It's a special art version.
It wasn't.
Okay. It's
What
like
do you mean special art? We'll get to
it's
we'll
like
get
an
to that.
anniversary. Okay, we'll get to it.
We'll get to that.
But I knew I was going to send you Adam Ant. Let's put it that way. I
Oh,
did
okay.
know that, and I wanted to find you a copy of Dirk Wears White Socks because, of course, I feel like I should have. And we've spoke about this. I feel like I should have sent you, ladies and gentlemen. We are floating through space by Spiritualized, and that would have been That's a much more concise record.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would have probably been a better introduction. However, I loved the other one so much. I felt that maybe I just it was. It's a very important record, like your last thing with Eddie, the top 10 most important records. And so it was a very important record to me. And I thought, well, I'll start here. Plus, I also found that in the wild, and it was on glow in the dark vinyl. And I'm like, this is going
Yeah.
to be awesome. Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. So that I went to find this, and I went to Dusty Groove, I think I was at. And I went back to the rock section, which is very small. And boom, it was just sitting there, Adam Ant in A. And I was like, oh, perfect. I looked for the other one, Dirk Wears White Socks, because it's a little heavier, like it's a little more
Yeah.
revved up. And so yeah, so I'm glad. And dude, it was like $3.99 or something. I feel
Wow.
really bad. Yeah, it was super cheap, and the vinyl's not in bad shape, right?
No, it's good. It's great.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay, so I feel like I want to like because I know there's always like suspense because I don't tell you shit.
No, you don't tell
I
me
don't
shit.
tell
Just
you how
very
I feel about
tight-lipped.
anything.
Very tight-lipped. Very tight-lipped.
So I think I want to start this off by without saying any words. I'm going to visually let you know
Okay.
what I thought of the album that you sent me.
Is it in the trash?
Are you ready?
Okay, go. Oh, what?
So So I bought a copy of Prince Charming, but not only that, this is a 1981 pressing with a fucking hype sticker still on it. It's in the shrink. I mean, it's open, obviously, but this is like somebody online. It's in great shape. Somebody online sold this for it was $8.
Oh,
So-
I love you. I love you. This means so much, dude. This is so cool. So
I have not listened to this yet. It just came in the mail today.
So good. It is so good.
But I read somewhere,
Okay.
even the people that didn't really like this album when it came out,
Right,
they
right.
said it sounds just like the other album, only with like the songs aren't as good in their opinion. And I'm like, well, okay, I liked this album, so I guess
You did.
So I did. So here's the thing. Like,
Okay.
I feel like this now is a very dangerous thing for me because it now makes me understand that like, oh, there's all these 80s artists that their most played song, that I know isn't a very good representation of them. Because like all I knew from him was Goody Two Shoes. And that's a song that like, if you play, it's like I Want Candy. If you play the song, I go, that's fine. But if somebody said, do you want to go buy that album? I'd be like, no, it's not. There's nothing about it that's like interesting to me. It's just a whatever fun little song.
Right.
So I put this album on and I didn't know what it was going to sound like. Although I was already prepared because there's at least 2 or 3 songs that have that same beat on it because he loves that fucking beat.
Oh.
Yeah.
He loves it.
And I knew nothing about Adamant. So
Right,
listening to this album, which I've now
this is so
which I've now listened to 4 times, I've heard it. Unfortunately, only once on vinyl. I'm gonna play it again on vinyl, but I listened to it streaming because I wanted to find because there's a song that's not on the U.S. version, and I wanted to hear that song, and then compare.
What's the song?
It's called Making History. Making History is not on the US version, but they swap it out by putting 2 songs that aren't on the UK version. Guess which songs are not on the UK version? Physical and Press Darlings.
Whoa, those are the 2.
They're both great songs. So So anyway, so I put this on and the interesting thing about this album, I took notes. I got all these notes. Also, I determined what pressing this is. This is a 1985 pressing of this album.
Okay.
Which is great. It's whatever. It's 80s. Whenever for 80s albums, I just want to get 80s pressings. It doesn't matter what year.
Sure. Okay, good. No offense, I did put that on and it sounded really clean on my system. I'm
sounds good.
This is okay.
It sounds
all
good.
Right. Yeah,
Thing I did not know about this, and I don't know if I misread this or this is not actually true. I read that this in 1981 in the UK, this was the best-selling album of the year.
No, totally.
Like
He was
nothing
huge.
sold more than this album.
No, it was huge.
That's baffling to me because once I started listening to it, so it starts off side A, Dog Eat Dog, which is like a cool song because it's a cool intro because it doesn't really give you a lot to go on. You already hear that there's a merging of styles. That's the one thing that I really enjoyed about this album was that you could call it a punk album because there's elements of punk in it. But there's also elements that punk bands would be like, "Fuck you," for doing this, and so that makes it even more punk to me, really.
Right.
So
exactly.
it sets the tone. But the interesting thing is that "Dog Eat Dog" was released as a single, and I'm like, "There's not much happens in that song." But
No.
I guess it was big enough that they put whatever song out.
Sure. Well, I don't know how UK radio works.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Okay. Anyway.
But also in the early around that time, like all the way through the 80s,
Yes.
the UK was still a singles based music
Yes.
scene.
Yes.
That's why, like, if you try to get into like the Smiths, there's all types of shit where it's like, oh, this was only a single, and it's like, why? That song's fucking great. Why is it not on an album? Anyway, so you don't have to send me any Smiths because I like the Smiths and I know all of their shit. So that's
Okay, right on. Well,
if you're into the Smiths, I didn't know if you were.
I recently am into the Smiths. Actually, I was not into them. Like, I was anti them, but now I'm.
Were you anti Morrissey or anti the Smiths?
Tim Moan, the drummer for Styx,
Yes.
loved that band, and we were roommates, and he played that group a lot, and there was just something about them that I did not understand.
If you're not in the mood for that, it can be grating at times. So yes,
well, right. But now, I've been meaning to text him for days just to say, "Hey, man, I'm really sorry that I was not able to get on board with this when we lived together because I really like it now." Johnny Marr's guitar playing is actually amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like when you but anyway, we're not talking about the Smiths today.
So then song number 2 kicks in, which is Ant music. This is what hooked me, because halfway through the song, I was just sitting there and I went, wait a second. This is fucking weirdo music. This is music for weirdos. Yes, made by weirdos for weirdos. And all of a sudden I felt right at home. I was like, wow, I feel like that they thought about me. I was only 2 years old.
Yeah. It was ant music, dude.
I was apparently an ant person, or I am an ant person.
You're an ant. You were a baby ant.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And I put a note. There's some like little notes that I put in. One, I wrote very percussive, but without a traditional drum kit. There's very rarely a where the hi-hat and the snare and cymbal crashes. It's usually toms and maybe just a snare. There's one song that I think has an actual drum kit. You can hear it. But for the most part, that's also a thing that I liked about it, is I'm like, oh, they even approach percussion like in a different way. Like, well, we have a drum kit, but we're not going to use the whole fucking drum kit.
Yep.
And then to drive home the weirdo factor, you get to Los Rancheros, which is like,
I was hoping you were.
This is the point. There's 2 songs on this album where I just really like audibly said, "You fucking weirdos."
Yeah, dude, right? Because you say where's the weird music for weird people? You said that before,
and the interesting thing about this, and I don't, like I said, I have not heard Prince Charming yet, and I have not heard Dirk Wears White Socks.
Right,
but the interesting thing about this album is that there's so much reference to North American history and culture.
Yes.
Especially Native American. Which I really like. That's a good way to get me interested in your shit if you're writing stuff about Native Americans, because I really I like that kind of shit. But just the fact that they wanted to get like a spaghetti western sound. And I'm like, but these are just like 20-something dudes from the UK in 1980, and they're just like, oh no, we want to write songs about Native Americans, and we want to get this twangy tone in this song. So it's so weird, because I was just like, I did not expect that at all, and I'm just like this. So like that's the weird thing about this album, is that there are songs where I enjoy the fact that it's kind of a what the fuck, why
exactly,
and then there's other songs that like we'll get to where I just go, oh, this is just a fucking legit great song. But then we get to Feed Me to the Lions, which I enjoyed. And I wrote like taking elements of post-punk and punk and post-punk, but making it feel more tribal, which I really appreciated the tribal aspect of it. Then we get to
we're also historical.
Historical.
He likes that, because it's feeding me to the line, so it's like Christians in the Roman. Okay, so anyway, keep going.
That's another thing. If you can jump in, because I'm not good with deciphering what lyrics mean, and so like even though I read the lyrics, sometimes I'm like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about here.
I don't know either sometimes.
Okay,
but
Press Darlings.
Hey ho, no idea. Okay,
Press Darlings not on the UK version.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, which I really liked, but once again, it's taking another element which sounds more like what would be known as new wave at that point.
Yes.
An interesting thing is that there's a more recent band, and because I didn't know Adam and the Ants, I didn't know how much they kind of were influenced by them. There's a band called the Future Heads, and
okay.
they're from are they from Scotland? I think.
Okay.
But there are parts of I was a really big fan of their first album, and there's a whole lot of parts of that album that when I hear this, I go, "Oh man, those guys were way into Adam and the Ants." But theirs is way more like leaning in on full drum kit, full bore. It's way more energetic, not as swingy. There's not as much swinging going on.
Sure.
Anyway,
Sure.
and I wrote this feels more punk than most of the punk that was happening in 1980.
Yes.
Which is what it's just because like
noisy guitar.
Because also hindsight, like you look at all these like cookie cutter punk bands once it became popular. And some of them, even though they were, oh, look, we're wearing a punk costume, they still made good music. But then there was a whole bunch of others from around the time that were literally just phoning it in and biting on the trend. Whereas somebody like, I don't even know like the origin and history of new wave. So there's parts of this album where I go, was he the first to do this kind of thing? And then other bands picked up on it? Because I don't really know.
Right.
Ants Invasion. Ants Invasion, first song that appears to have an actual drum kit, but they're still using it minimally. Yeah. Still that cool merging of styles and an unpredictable structure. That's another thing I liked about the songs is that it's not verse, chorus all the time. Sometimes you get thrown with a structure where you don't know where the song's going to go necessarily. While still sounding just like some pop tunes, really.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Right, because it can still load into your mind as a pop song.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, go ahead. I'm very fascinated with this.
Side A closes out with Killer in the Home.
Killer in the Home.
Now, this was the weird one because I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but it literally takes the riff from Rumble by Link Ray. Bring, bring, bring. That's Link Ray's Rumble.
Okay, yeah.
Now I don't know if they did that. I don't know if they did that on purpose or not.
I'm sure they did that on purpose.
Because Link Ray's that song's from the '60s, I believe, or maybe even late '50s.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at like the Cramps and some other stuff that kind of vaguely started coming out around that time, I think that surf rock. I think that surf rock stuff. Shows up, especially with the spaghetti western style stuff, and that
it makes sense.
They're pulling from these. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
But I love
that you like this.
I love the vibe on Killer in the Home.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a cool way to close out side A because it really does leave you with side A going like, man, this album could really kind of go anywhere.
It could go anywhere,
and you don't really know. Then we bring you to side B though. Which I honestly think that I like side B more than side A.
Totally. Like it's that traditional side 2 is the artist's side.
I guess.
Like they gave you the single, they gave you Ant Music, which was the single.
Well, the first single is on side B. Kings of the Wild Frontier was the first single, I believe.
Well, totally. But the one that ended up like that they made the video for and that they tried to launch his career here in America was Ant Music. And I think don't they even play it on that Tom Snyder clip I sent you?
They play that and they play Los Rancheros.
Yeah,
on that. Yeah. Which I thought was interesting that they chose that
just
one.
To like let you know, like here we are from left field. We're just going to play Los Rancheros.
Okay, okay. Maybe they were all like, the Americans are going to love this.
Oh yeah, no, maybe they did. Maybe.
I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, Kings of the Wild Frontier starts off side B. This is where I wrote, he really loves this drum beat because it's got the once again. Great energy to that song.
Yeah.
Here's where I wrote, I feel there is so much more going on in these lyrics than most people seem to want to acknowledge. And I quoted the line, I feel beneath the white, there is a redskin suffering from centuries of taming, which I thought, that's a pretty fucking heavy line.
Oh, it's heavy as fuck.
And I'm like, is he referring to redskin as in an ant, or is he actually making a reference to Native Americans?
Wow. I never even thought that it was an ant because I always think ants are black for some reason. Not because, but that's super.
All I know is that if you read the lyrics are all about I feel like it's all about like not being accepted for who you are, like him and his people.
Right, a shade too white. You're just a shade too white.
A
And all
shade
that.
too white. Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's that. But yeah, you know what? I always did think it was the other because I felt like with his historical costumes and things like that, and he was
Yeah.
bringing up these sort of things that it was like he was making some sort of like roundabout comment on colonialism, I believe, and like about how this is the centuries of taming.
Yeah.
So this is
Yeah.
not just America. I mean, it's like
So it could, yeah,
the third
you could be referencing Native Americans, but you could also be referencing tons of cultures with that same
tons of
statement.
cultures. Exactly. Yeah.
The interesting thing about that is that 1980 is also, was it? No, just a couple years later, I believe in 1982, Iron Maiden put out the song Run to the Hills.
Yeah, that was
And I'm just like, the UK folks were really
Right.
dialed into like,
Yes.
the Americans did some
Yes.
bad shit, and we're
Yes.
over here being like, "Go America!" We
Right.
gave the natives some food and blankets. It was we
Oh,
loved
yeah,
them so
right.
much.
Right. Yeah. Oh no, totally. Because I mean, I feel that very deep cynicism that comes from. I mean, obviously, English people are aware of the oppression that the English Empire wrought upon the world. They obviously know that it's there,
Sure.
and so whatever emotional roller coaster or whatever their mind has to do, the deep cynicism of what one power can do to another is in there.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And they've also been completely occupied. You know what I mean? The Romans were in there. I mean, there's been so many switchovers about like that whole island was practically eradicated at one point and then repopulated with another people. I mean, this is a consistent wheel of history. You
I've
know what I mean?
also thought recently about being a person that lives in England that you're forced to have these people who are categorized as kings and queens, and you have no say over it whatsoever. And I would be pissed off all the time. Literally, if I lived in the UK, I think all my music would still be "fuck the Queen, fuck the King."
Oh, sure.
Because who the fuck are you? Just because you all are inbred and you have all these fucking relatives or whatever, like no,
Right.
like because I know it's like they all have their stories of like God told my great grandfather
Richard
that he was a
III.
king or whatever.
Right, yeah,
And I'm
the
just like, go
lion-hearted.
fuck yourself.
Right.
So I'm like,
Right.
I feel oppressed in the current state of the United States, but like imagine if it was literally the thing where it's like, oh no, now this family is literally going to be referred to as the most important fucking thing in your country forever, and you have no fucking say. And that's ridiculous. That's weird to think about. Anyway.
And here's the weird part: at the same time, much of your history is tied to things that conquests that are tied to this lineage. So your literal English history it's a double-edged sword. Like one, there's this thing that's going on that we've all heard the Monty Python. Oh, okay. Oh, you're the king, right? Remember that whole like. Why is he the king? Because he doesn't got shit all over him. Like there's that whole comment about.
I love that.
But then on the other hand, these people financed. I mean, and I'm not saying it's good that they did it. I'm just saying it's weird that the things that you should be ashamed of and proud of it are mixed into the same thing. Like think about our forefathers that we hold so high, and then you're like, oh well, they did own slaves, and they weren't talking about women when they said this, and they were only, there's this weird dichotomy of like. I think we tried really hard not to have kings in America. Like that was the big deal.
Yeah,
like that was literally.
That's literally why. Yeah, that's why we're here.
Right. And France did the same thing. I think we mentioned this in the last episode. Like they just they don't even have a king and a queen anymore, do they? Like that shit's not even. They don't even have a lineage. There's no palace someplace. There's no figurehead that's like sitting in there. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, maybe they still have dukes or earls or whatever. I don't know. But it's weird that your society is so structured on this stratification and lineage. And then on the other hand, you would also feel trapped. I totally agree. I felt that before. Like how weird that is to have.
Yeah. But I think, but that goes along that thing that I feel like so many people, and I'm not just going to throw America in there. I think it's just people in general have a hard time wrestling with complicated ideas that aren't one thing or the other. So we should be able to look back and look at our quote unquote forefathers and say there's importance there.
Yes.
But we should treat it like, I don't know, the base of a soup, like there's water and there's a little bit of tomato in there. So they started it off pretty good.
Right.
But we're supposed to be constantly trying to make the soup more delicious.
Yes.
But so many people are just like, nope, I want water and tomato. And we're all like, no, we're supposed to be trying to make better recipes all the time and learn from what they did.
You want some
whatever.
bread?
Like, whatever is going to make a better meal.
Right. Yeah, whatever's going to make exactly.
Yeah, so it's just, but I feel like there's a lot of people that just have a hard time, like, in their brain, like grappling with that. Like, oh, there's a thing that I have pride in, but also I can look at it and go, well, fuck these people. And I'm like, it can be both things at the same time.
No, it literally is both things at the same time. No, totally. I agree. I agree totally. Yep.
Yeah. So, anyway, so where were we? Oh, okay.
Magnificent Five.
I wrote a little note that said, I like how this album seems like a party, but has a lot of darkness within it.
Yes.
Which once again is probably why I kind of connected with it, because there's the weirdo aspect of it, but it's not like, hey, we're goofballs. We're a bunch of goofballs.
Right.
It's like there's a thing in it where I go, all right, there's like a message in here, and like there's some dark subject matter.
Right.
Anyway, Magnificent Five, which is about Adam and the Ants, because there's 5 of them.
Of course.
I love the big distorted guitar that appears in the song and then disappears.
Right.
And I love that the song shifts from major to minor key, which always is a really interesting song, because it really kind of tricks you into being like, this is an upbeat song. Oh wait, no, it's not. And so I like that kind of thing, especially when it's done really well.
Okay.
This brings me to another one of my favorites on the whole fucking album. Don't Be Square, Be There.
Be There.
The disco rock track.
Oh, so disco.
I wrote not sure who did this sound first, but I feel like a lot of bands heard this song and then started bands, because like there's so much music that sounds like this song. Right. So that's why I was like, I don't know the history of it. Did he like birth all of these dancey post-punk bands?
Like I said, he was huge. Like, I mean, I don't think we understand how big he was.
No, because we didn't get that over here.
No, he just did. They tried really hard to ant invade us. But
yeah.
We just didn't take it. But anyway, so go ahead. Yeah.
And then I also wrote a little note that said, it's interesting how hated disco quickly became, yet so many post-punk and new wave bands immediately took elements of it.
Oh, of course.
Like that always, because like over here, like I think that's just an American thing. The disco sucks
disco
thing.
sucks and all. Yeah,
but then like all of this amazing music, you listen to it and you go, that wouldn't exist if they hadn't heard Donna Summer or whatever.
No, totally. Yes. And I think the Brit bands are so good at regurgitating things that they like, and then putting it with their own spin on it.
I agree.
I will admit that I'm like kind of a Anglophile. I just love their music for some reason.
Yeah, I love a lot of it. So
if I go back and look at all if I have to think about a lot of the bands that I enjoy, like, oh wow, they're fucking all British. Like they're not all British, but I mean many of them are British.
Yeah.
Anyway.
For the next song, I just wrote Jolly Roger. Why? Why not? Fucking weirdos.
Exactly. Why not? Hoist the Jolly Roger.
That's another thing. That's another thing from history that always makes me laugh about how these awful fucking people have now become just like this fun thing.
Sure, pirates.
Like you say pirate, people are like, that's fun. I'm like, it wasn't fun for a lot of fucking people.
No, it wasn't. Yeah.
It was brutal.
Right.
And they were awful people. Well, maybe they weren't all awful, but I don't know.
They even have haul you round the keel in this song, right? They'll make you walk the plank alone and then they'll haul you around the keel. Yeah. Right. So, which is great because like this is another one of these groups where I had to look all that stuff up.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know what it meant or whatever, and so I'm learning these terms and things from anyway from this
Yeah.
record, this band anyway.
So at this point in the album, if we were listening to the UK version, that's when the song "Making History" would have shown up instead of
Okay,
"Physical."
instead
But
of physical,
I listened to the song "Making History" and it's a fine song.
it's fine.
But I feel like I'm fortunate that you found the American version and not the UK version, because I probably would have still enjoyed the UK version. But this was an added little bonus because obviously I know this song because of Nine Inch Nails.
Yes.
But this is way better than the Nine Inch Nails version.
Oh, right.
I literally thought like, oh, okay, I know this song. Is this going to be like a goofy version of the cool Nine Inch Nails one?
Right.
But it's fucking creepy.
It's even more sinister.
It's yeah,
Yeah,
and
and which is weird saying that about Nine Inch Nails because he could get very sinister.
he can
So
get
it's
creepy.
weird to think that. Yeah.
His feels a little bit more sexy, whereas this one there's a little bit of sexy, but there's also a little bit of like you're uncomfortable with it because because the way he sings some of the lines.
Well, and
Yeah, well,
the way that thing
yeah.
pulses in, it's just like I got goosebumps. Oh,
Yeah.
you're just
So that was cool to hear this version and go, oh, I think I like this version way more than
Right.
the Nine Inch Nails version.
yeah.
But yeah, if it had, I feel like the way this album plays out, Physical is so great right there, because it's like, sure, like you could make the argument that it doesn't quite fit in with a lot of the other songs on this album, but then you could also make that argument for Jolly Roger, and that's
of
on this fucking album too.
Yeah,
So,
and that it does all those things makes the record so. Oh, look at all these different
Yeah.
places. Yeah.
and then it wraps it up with what I think is a fucking great closer, "The Humans
Yes.
Being,"
Yeah.
which I wrote native post punk track, love it.
Yep.
And I love the fact that it's like it's a similar thing to what the first track does, where there's not verse chorus going on in this song. It's more just a vibe.
It's a vibe.
And he's just they're chanting the
dirge.
different
Tribes.
tribe names.
Yeah.
And I just really that as an ending, I was like, oh, that's so cool. And that made me interested. But unfortunately, like you dig, like maybe I need to read his book, because if you look around on the internet, there's not much information on him talking about what went into the lyric writing of the songs. Like,
Oh, there isn't.
not that I can
Interesting.
find.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember specific quotes or passages from the book, but the book is pretty fascinating.
Yeah, because I'm interested in where his interest in Native American culture came from, like why it became such a big thing to him that he worked it into these songs. Because like everything else makes kind of sense, like talking about like pirates or whatever. All that kind of like, okay, I can see that, but for some reason the Native American stuff came as a surprise, because I was just like, oh wow, there's like several references in this album
Right.
to Native American tribes, and that's fascinating to me because he's just known as this like '80s punky new wave guy,
Right.
right?
Right. And
Over
why did
here,
he- yeah.
So
And I know we're going to do movies next round, and I would just like to plant a seed or an Easter egg or something and I want you to see Swimming to Cambodia, which is this one-man show by a guy named Spalding Gray. It was directed by Jonathan Demme. It's a very great piece, but he says in this movie, he says, well, leave it to the Brits to teach you your own history, because it's basically about Cambodia and Vietnam War. But of course, we're told one thing about Cambodia and Vietnam because, of course, we were fighting those wars.
Yeah.
But they're looking at it much differently, and of course, the Cambodians and the Vietnamese are looking at it.
yeah.
Right. So, they call it the American War. I mean, it would make sense. So, but yeah, I think it's interesting because leave it to the Brits to teach you about your history, because they are such an old culture and they've already done this stuff. They already subjugated conquered and removed resources from
Yeah.
someplace else.
Yeah, but not
You
only
know what I mean?
that, they also you if you grow up in the UK, you're already surrounded by things that are telling you that history is important. Whereas
Yes.
here,
Yes.
we're
They
not
start
really
you at
surrounded by that. We're surrounded by new things and
new.
new things.
Right.
Which
Strip mall.
honestly, that's another one of those things where
Uh-huh.
I see benefit in both of those things
Sure.
because I see
Totally.
its importance in
Yep.
understanding history and not letting it fade away into nothing. But
Mm-hmm.
also, I'm all about pushing things forward and improving.
Yes, sir.
And so it's a very weird juxtaposition because like I'll get annoyed by one thing and then I'll like another thing and I'll be like, that doesn't make any sense. But of course it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make because that's what because we're human beings. Yeah. Oh,
The human beings.
okay. Yeah.
Like
I
that.
gotta say, dude, this is absolutely thrilling because
So yeah,
one part of me thought he's gonna fucking love this, and then the other part was he's not gonna like this at all. You know what I mean?
I mean, honestly, there could be another artist from the same era, like a contemporary of his, that I could hear and go, fuck this. But this was like, had all the right amounts of unpredictability or unpredictability, whatever that word is.
Unpredictable.
The sort of the weirdo factor,
Okay,
the
sure.
kind of darkness in some of the lyrics and some of the songs,
Yep.
but just also the fact that like, it's fascinating to me when some interesting type of music becomes massive somewhere. So like
Right.
this was massive in England,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, how? That's so cool that
Right.
this was massive. This was the best-selling album in 1981, and I'm just like
Yeah.
that
he
because
maintained
there's so
top
much
of the
other
chart.
stuff from that time period that you could be like, oh well, probably normal people would be listening to this, but no, they were even the normies
They
were
loved
getting on board with
Yeah.
Adam and the Ants.
The whole attitude about the fact that he is giving you ant music. Do you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
when he says unplug the jukebox
And,
and
do us all a favor. Yeah.
that music's lost its taste, so try another flavor, ant music. Well,
Yeah.
so I love it when a band says we're doing a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Kiss did that too.
Sure.
You know, they were a thing, they were a unit, they were pushing something out, and then that's what I love. And so
Yeah.
and when I reference that Nation of Ulysses record or whatever, Nation of Ulysses catches that cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they really pump it out there, and you feel like that unit of people that are playing those songs think that they're important, and because they think they're important, you find them important. You know what I mean?
It's also like it's a fine line because there's probably been plenty of artists, I can't think of any right offhand, that presented themselves as something unique and special and boundary pushing, but in theory they weren't.
Right.
But it's something about these groups that have, and like Kiss is a really great example.
The Kiss Army. They were asking you to join.
But also, like, not only
You know what
that,
I mean?
when you have that kind of, when you present yourself in that way, but you actually deliver some good music at the same time,
Exactly.
that's fascinating to me because that could fail horribly.
Yeah, no, it could totally go. Yeah,
In fact, I'm sure it did. I'm sure there's somebody out there could probably think of an example of that failing.
Terrence Trent D'Arby, for instance. Remember how up on himself he was? Everything was up on himself and talking about himself. I liked Terrence Trent D'Arby.
I like that Wishing Well song. That's a good one.
But there were people who were turned off by that kind of thing.
Oh,
And
okay.
of course there were people that were turned off by Kiss, and of course there were people that were turned off by Adam and the Ants. And of course,
Yes,
you know, I mean,
yes.
I mean, you were going to find that.
But that makes me like it even more because I can tell that this is the kind of music that some people would fucking hate. And I'm like, now I love it even more that I found it, or you found it for me.
No,
and like,
you found it.
And so like, yeah, so that's why like, you know, once I found a good copy of Prince Charming, I was like, I'm gonna get this too, but I'm not gonna listen to anything from it because I know Stand and Deliver is a really big song, but
It's huge.
I can't in my head, I don't know what it sounds like. I'm sure I've heard it. Oh, really?
Stand and deliver your money or your life. Yeah, it's great.
And there's a song called Ant Rap on here. I'm
Oh,
ready
dude.
for
Okay,
that.
so I know. So I was thinking. Okay, so dude, that thing you did with Eddie and the top 10 most important records, like, and the delineation between important versus favorite
Yes.
was huge.
Yeah.
Like that just went, oh, okay. Well, like I love Beastie Boys' License to Ill, or I love Public Enemy more than anything, and I loved NWA, and I loved, like Gangstar and all everything that comes after it. But
Yeah.
really, the album that made me listen to rap music, sure, I knew Sugar Hill Gang, and I knew Grandmaster Flash, and I knew that Blondie breakdown in the middle, of what's that song called? The big
Rapture.
one. Rapture. Rapture.
That's
right,
one
right.
that's not going to, you're not going to win me over on that, man.
Okay, well, okay, but I mean, so I know we've heard, but then I remembered, oh, you know what? Really, the first song that I was exposed to that had a rap in it was that one, Ant Rap, and I thought, and it's, hey, dude, this Prince Charming is way cheesier.
Okay. I hope.
Then
That sounds great.
okay, if you like Los Rancheros or whatever,
Yeah.
you're gonna like, there's some shit on this record because now he's into the new romantic period. He's very, it's
Yeah.
like,
Well, he also changed his makeup, so now the stripes
changed
are
his
on
makeup.
one cheek, and he has a
yes,
heart.
and he does a little heart over there, and he does a little X on his thing.
Oh,
or
he does
whatever.
he does a beauty mark too,
He does a beauty mark. Yes, right.
which
So he
Madonna
got-
was just born with hers.
yeah, just born with hers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I am so excited that you do the opening song to I think it's called Scorpios.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Is fucking killer. Like there's talk about, I don't know, man. I wish that I had pursued more European music in my life, because I feel like the Europeans, like there is some sort of weird party seriousness. Like I'm old, like that's what I love the Clash so much, is because they'll give you a history lesson, they'll teach you some politics, they'll give you a little bit about class,
Yeah.
and then they're going to be like, but 1-2 got a crush on you. And you're like, oh, nice. So there's a love song, or Train in Vain and all that stuff.
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
oh, okay, and that was great. Like Mick could give you really political, or he could like somebody got murdered, or he could give you really like romantic, like should I stay or should I go? He could do that. And they
Yeah.
give you both, so you get the revolution and you get
They
love.
literally have those two. Well, I mean, they're on what's that? What's the Combat Rock? Is that the last album they did? Or one
Yeah,
of the
before
last albums they did?
Yeah, well, yeah, cut the crap, but right.
Oh
yes.
yeah, fucking Rock the Casbah is like deceptively fun.
And it has way a history lesson.
Yeah, so it's like it's kind of a cool. Also, that music video was filmed in Austin, Texas, my
Oh,
hometown.
was it really? Under an oil pump.
Yep, it's in Austin.
Derrick. They call it a derrick.
And
an oil
the
derrick.
cover of London Calling was from a show in Austin, Texas.
Come on.
Yeah.
Austin, Texas is awesome.
Well, not anymore. It was. It fucking was.
Yeah, it was. It was really.
But
Mecca.
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's like I'm, with this kind of stuff, it kind of paints a picture of like, stuff from a particular time that doesn't really get made anymore. That stuff's always going to probably find a place with, especially something like Adam and the Ants, that in America, he's just been sort of left behind.
Yep.
There are people that really love him, and he's still, important enough that people know Adam Ant here. But
Yeah.
it's not like you mentioned Blondie. People are still sucking Blondie's dick, this many years later, and or like a really good example, from the '80s is coming out of the '70s is fucking Joan Jett. People fucking love Joan Jett, and I'm all
people love
like,
Joan Jett.
all of her fucking famous songs are covers. She didn't write any fucking real songs that became hits, like, and so much of her stuff
I Love
is
Rock and Roll is not her song?
no, it's a cover song.
That's a cover song?
Yeah,
I know
it's a
Crimson and Clover was a cover song.
And yeah, and I Hate Myself for Loving You, that's a cover song. Like literally, like all the songs from Joan Jett are fucking covers, and all the rest of her stuff is just derivative. And I realize that she represents something, but musically she doesn't deliver. And so I'm just like,
Well,
fine.
did you not like the Runaways then?
I love the Runaways.
Okay, I think that's what it was, right? Like she was that.
Yeah.
And so then everybody was just fine. We're gonna follow, we're gonna follow her because
But
she
nobody,
did that.
people don't put Lita Ford on the pedestal that they put Joan Jett. And
No,
Lita
they
Ford,
don't. Yeah.
now,
they don't.
granted, Lita Ford made some fucking cheesy ass music, but I love all of it.
Yeah,
but she's
no,
also an
right.
amazing guitar player and a
Very
very
amazing.
good singer. So like, it's one of those things where like I look at some of these artists from the '80s and like sometimes I feel like there's too much weight put on some artists and not enough weight put on other artists such as Adam and the Ants, because that's like. To me, they were, there's just some one-hit wonder band. And sure, maybe they were over here, but I didn't know the history of this band. I didn't, And then, like, I read up on Adam Ant himself, and I realized that he struggles with he struggled. Like, he literally was he was hospitalized for mental issues in the fucking 70s.
Yes, he was.
So, like, he's a guy that's been through a whole lot of shit. And
I see it in his eyes in his performances.
yeah,
Like there is a war going on in him
yeah,
to be this pop star guy,
yeah,
but feeling fake.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like he literally, like imposter syndrome or whatever. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but I feel like he had a drive to get there, but it also is very insecure.
Yeah. It's
So
probably like that. We're struggling with the endorphin rush mixed with the how exhausting it can be. Like struggling with that whole thing. Like if you have, because I've dealt with that too. Like I've never been a pop star, obviously, but I've been in bands, and I tell you what, like every single show I've ever played, it's exhausting getting up on the stage for me because there's so much stress and so much anxiety. But the rush of playing music in front of people feels good enough that I kept doing it and I kept doing it. But I can only imagine what it would have been. I would have been like a Kurt Cobain probably if I had been in a
Your
band.
stomach could just eating itself.
Well, yeah, whatever. Like I
Right, yeah,
probably would
totally.
have been a fucking mess because, like,
Right.
imagine that kind of stress when you're already an anxious person, but
Right.
you still. This music is so important to you, and going out there and doing it is so important to you that you have to figure out how to balance the two.
Right.
And so, yeah, so I'm eventually, I feel like I should read Adam Ant's book because I feel like it'd be an interesting read because he seems, from the little I know about him, he seems like an interesting dude.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. Well, yeah. Hey, if you don't like Prince Charming, don't not get Dirk Wears White Socks.
Okay.
Because Dirk Wears White Socks delivers more of the Press Darlings thing.
Oh, okay. Which is weird because there's a song in Kings of the Wild Frontier where they say, Dirk wears white socks.
Dirk socks. Dirk wears white socks. Yeah. No. Yeah. So, and his callbacks, which is another way to say we're Ant Music, and I'm going to call back my song because it's that important.
Yeah.
And I think everybody, anyway. So dude, this is fucking fantastic that you went for this. I mean, it could have hit you at a time when you're like, yeah, fuck this, I don't want to deal with it. But it hit you at a time when you were like, yeah, this came in. Okay. And did your wife hear it at all?
No.
Oh, okay.
I believe she had her headphones on watching something during it because I didn't hear anything from her.
Okay. Right
it was so funny because earlier, like when this record was delivered, I was talking to her about how, I didn't realize it had the hype sticker on it. And like, this thing wasn't very expensive at all. Like people don't really care about this band here. She's like, they don't. And I went like this, well, fucking look at them.
I know, dude. Look at them. Nobody cared.
It's like they're in like a high school performance of Peter Pan.
Peter Pan. Exactly, dude. If one of them had a hook on their hand, I would not think that was out of place. I mean, that is so, dude. Okay, so this is the charm. You know what I mean? This is the charm. Yeah.
Yeah, just a bunch of weirdos. And then I realized that, it appears that after this point, Adam realized, well, the weirdos don't really need to be in the spotlight because like I read about the history of the band and people just kept coming and going and like, he, or somebody wouldn't work out and he would have to kick them out. And so it's just like, I would understand that if you're at that point in your career where you're literally like this album was like, you know, from what I know about it, was like highly anticipated. And
Oh, for
if
sure.
you're
And it
at
did.
that, if you're at that point as an artist, and you're still dealing with these people that like aren't 100% into what you're doing all the time, then you should just be like, you know, fuck it. Now I'm just gonna be Adamant, and the people that work with me are the people that work with me. Okay.
Yeah,
You know?
and Marco and him wrote all the songs. You know what
Which
I mean?
Marco, which what I read is that Marco didn't write anything on Dirk Wears White Socks. He joined
No.
him after the fact.
Yeah, I think Dirk Wears White Socks was the other Ants.
Yeah. One
So
of
I
the
think
ones that started
Marco
Bow Wow
Merrick.
Wow.
Yes, Marco Merrick. I got Marco Merrick. Gary Tibbs and yours truly in the naughty north and in the sexy south. When you're gonna that record is really fucking good, man. Okay, awesome,
Yeah.
dude.
I'm
This is great.
I'm looking forward to hearing this one
Okay.
because it seems like it's going to be fun.
It is.
Which
Yeah.
which I enjoy, and like you said, if the first album has more of a straight up sort of post punk vibe or whatever, or punky vibe,
Yeah.
I'll probably like the fact that there's that different flavor of like what
Yes.
he did.
Yes. Yes.
But I really
yes.
feel like so much of what he did, like people just started ripping him off, like, even the way he sang. Like I feel like there's so
Yes.
many singers that sound like
Yes.
Adam Ant, and I didn't
Yes.
know.
Right. Right. Yeah, because is he actually melodic? I mean, he's not really like a great singer. He doesn't have a big range or anything.
Not
In fact,
really,
when he
no.
goes to get loud, his voice kind of gets thin and reedy. Actually,
And he uses
you know what I mean?
the other guys will cover some higher parts in the band.
Totally. But then they throw in all those whoa, whoa, whoas and stuff, whatever. Yeah, which is really great. Okay, well, dude, this is fantastic, man. This is really, really great.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you.
Well, that's
right now.
why I don't want you to know anything, because I either A, don't want to
Right.
bum you out early on,
Right,
or
right,
I don't
right,
want you to like
right.
I want it to be a surprise, because I want it to be a nice
Okay.
you know, a nice memory that you have.
Okay. Well, it is a very nice memory. Thank you very much. Because I got to say, when I was listening to your and Eddie's last 10 most important records of your life or whatever, and you were like, and ultimately I didn't like it about the spiritualized record. I was like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
right. Anyway, but you know what? Don't give up on them either. If you ever find a copy of Ladies and Gentlemen, We Are Floating Through Space, if there was anything that you latched onto that you enjoyed at all, it's I should have started there. But anyway, this is great, man. This is great.
So the one I suggested for you
Yes.
was Leviathan by Mastodon. So I'll give you my spiel before we start. Oh wait, hold up. Yours is matte. Yours is a matte cover.
Matte cover.
Mine's glossy. Oh,
Matte.
I think I like yours better. Let's see what the color is of your vinyl, because
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about Mastodon right now,
This
and
is
the album
mine.
is Leviathan. Okay. Oh wow.
yeah.
Okay, I thought you were going to be really jealous of me, but yours is cooler. That's clear.
It's
With
clear
blue.
with blue.
blue.
Which really, when you know how records are made, they didn't have to add anything to make it clear. Oh, I like that one though. That one's
Well,
really
watch
great.
this. Watch this. Ready?
Yeah.
Even cooler.
Yeah, that's a good color.
Yeah. And what does your middle label look like? Because the art on this album is intensely good.
The art on all their albums is amazing. Every
Okay.
album.
Yeah, it's different. Like it's not even the same imprint. It's literally it's different. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so incredible.
Yeah, they work with really good artists. I've seen the original. Like this is like a pretty big painting that the artist did. So it's actually pretty cool. And then, but on the CD version, the cover of the album is literally just this. The square is like this part right here. So you don't.
Yes,
when-
'cause
you don't
right.
see. Yeah, you see that when you get the record
So-
version
So what does the back of yours look like?
like that.
Okay. Yeah, this is
Here's the
all-
yours doesn't
dude,
have the whale
What?
where the
it's black.
barcode is. I always really liked that.
It's a black whale here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is another thing. No fucking barcode. Like this thing is so fucking it's amazing.
Yeah, so it's very similar. It's just mine's glossy, and yours is not, which I appreciate the matte much more than.
Not only
than
is
the
it
glossy.
matte, but it's
What? I
It's
can't hear that.
it's incredibly textured.
Yeah. And is it embossed? Is the title embossed and everything?
Totally with gold
Nice.
leaf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks good. No,
Yeah,
this one
it's
is
awesome.
literally just basic bitch.
Okay,
So
well, I feel
so
like they said that this was it says on, what do you call that? The hype sticker? Oh,
yeah,
I
the
don't have
hype
it.
sticker.
It's over there someplace. But anyway, I think they said this was an anniversary reissue from
Oh, okay.
Relapse.
So that yeah,
So
so
they
this
went to
album
town on it.
was
They went to town.
2003, I think, when this album came out.
Okay. Yeah, these little things are embossed. The whole thing is
Yeah,
very cool. It's all in
yeah.
gold leaf. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the only thing is that okay, hold on real quick.
Yes.
Look at the back of your vinyl, and
Yes.
I'm gonna read you the track list, and you tell me if
Go ahead.
if it's the same as
Go
mine.
ahead. Yep.
Blood and Thunder, Sea Beast, Iron Tusk, Megalodon, Naked Burn, Aqua Dementia. The same.
So
Okay.
far so good.
So the unfortunate thing about the vinyl is the track list is fucked up, and it always bothers me because Megalodon is supposed to go into Hearts Alive. So when you're listening to it, you hear these ocean sounds, and then it abruptly cuts off. Because the CD version is the first version I heard, which has a different track order, and it's fucking perfect. This one, I don't know why they put it in a different order, but they did, and it bothers me. But it's still an amazing album. It's an amazing
Well,
album.
I didn't know it
nonetheless.
any other way. So when I heard when I heard the C, I just took that as atmospheric because this thing is about Moby Dick.
You know, it literally, but the sound, that sound effect literally leads right into Hearts Alive.
Okay.
So
and
when
it's
Hearts Alive starts, you just hear all of a sudden it just starts out of nowhere. So it's very weird. Anyway,
Okay.
so here's why this album is important to me. No, did I talk about it on that other episode?
You did, and I'm very nervous because several people in the comment section said that they were really looking forward to the Mastodon episode, and I hope they enjoy it.
Well, they're also talking about the Cranked and Ranked Mastodon episode.
Oh, you're going to do one of those?
Which literally is going to
pressure's
come
off.
out. It's going to come out
Yeah.
the same week as this video. It's
Okay,
going to be
pressure's
Mastodon week on Old Head.
Oh, fantastic.
But
Fantastic.
so I talked about this in that episode. Then I'm sure I went through a period where like metal was doing nothing for me, and I wasn't listening to metal. And this album came out, and just randomly, like I heard people talking about it, so I decided to listen to it. And it just reminded me about what I love about metal so much, but also incorporating things in it because they're a little bit proggy, but not quite. They get much more proggy. Woo, they do.
Okay. That's right.
In fact, like if you move forward in their catalog, they're just less heavy than this. There's still the heaviness there, but they get way more melodic, and eventually the drummer starts singing, and he has a really good voice. So yeah. Anyway, but this album really like came out and really like jump started my brain into like equating like how I'm feeling about this new metal album with all of these albums that I loved, and like thinking like, why did I leave all this shit behind? This is fucking stupid. But it's because of like, I had a friend group. I had a group of friends starting in high school,
Right.
and it grew into a pretty large group of friends. But I feel like with almost all of them, the mindset was, now we're into this, throw all that other shit away. And so I was just like, okay, I guess we got to throw all this other shit away. And I was trying to like be cool with it. And so like, they would get into music that I didn't like that much, but it was just very weird. But then all of a sudden I'm in my 20s and it's 2003 or whenever I hear this, 2004, around there. But all of a sudden I realized that there's all this amazing music that like, I tossed it away just because I was young when I heard it. That's fucking stupid. So it really brought me back. And ever since I've been not only moving forward with trying to find newer metal that appeals to me, but also really opened up that whole world of like, there's all this music from that time period. Like I loved these bands, but there's all these other bands too. I need to fucking go back. So literally fucking your band. All I knew was No Groovy. Never heard the fucking album. And then eventually when I was able to go like, oh, okay, I want to hear what their album sounded like. I was like, this is great. Why didn't, and I was like, why didn't I own this back in the day? Because it literally wasn't at the record store.
No distribution.
Yeah.
Zero distribution.
So literally, like
Right,
Mastodon could be
Yeah.
thanked for leading back to us being friends, because if the series of events that kicked open this whole world of like all of this shit that I loved back in the day, not just metal, alternative music,
Right.
grunge,
Right.
what have you from that time. Even like getting into like Brit pop stuff. Like there was all this stuff that I just sort of took for granted, and I'm just like, so really, like it all begins with this Mastodon album, with me realizing that I'm doing myself a disservice by just saying, well, fuck all of this shit. I'm moving forward with these other things, and I'm trying to find things that, I don't know, are impressive to talk about with somebody at a bar. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, no, totally. Am I doing this for me, or am I doing this to be relevant in conversation?
Dude,
do you know what I mean?
You want to know
okay.
one of the most cringiest moments of my life, and I remember this because even my friend at the time was like, "Oh, come on, dude." This was probably a little bit before this album came out, so you're probably talking 2002.
Okay.
I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine, who I was in a band with, and I had gone through this phase where I wanted to like know about all of the music that everyone calls like the great music. So I went and listened to every album that Rolling Stone magazine said this album's amazing. I went and listened to.
Okay, great. Right. I've
And
also
then
done that.
And then I decided
Right.
that I was supposed to be really into a lot of those albums. Now, granted, these are good albums.
Yeah, they're good
Like,
albums.
but I just remember talking to, we had some discussion, and I go, I really think like my 5 favorite albums are Pet Sounds, Inner Visions by Stevie Wonder, which I fucking love that album. But
both of those records are good.
and I was just naming off these albums, and he's like, "Dude, are you serious?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, that's what I'm into, man." And now it just seems like this douchebag moment where I'm just like, because I literally love those records,
Right.
but those are not my favorite records of all time.
No, they're great.
That was what I felt like I need. I felt like I needed to have this thing of like, oh well, now I know about these famous records,
Sure.
and same reason why I fucking bought "Kind of Blue" by that's not Otis Redding. Is that Otis?
No, is that not Miles Davis?
Not Otis. Otis Redding is very different. Not Miles Davis. "Kind of Blue" is John Coltrane.
John Coltrane.
John Coltrane.
Great record too.
Which I
though.
liked that
Also a good
record.
and still a good record.
But if
Yeah,
I was
still
to
a good
come to
record.
you and say "Kind of Blue" is like one of my favorite albums,
record.
I would be fucking lying to you.
Oh, it would not be sincere. I mean, it would not be genuine.
It would not be genuine.
Right,
And so I was trying too hard to figure out who I was, not realizing that who I was there all along. I was just, I was putting up this wall like, no, you can't, that can't be what you're into, because this and this and this people, they say this isn't good. Same thing with like liking Kiss. Like, there's even now, there are fucking people that are just like, why don't you listen to like some real music by real musicians? And I just want to be like, fuck you. Because it's
Viking
like,
Kiss. I don't know that one.
what? No, Kiss.
Viking.
No,
Oh,
Kiss.
What did you say? Viking Kiss?
I think I said fucking Kiss.
Fucking Kiss. Sorry, dude. I was like, wow. Okay,
Viking Kiss.
Right, that would be really cool. I don't know what
I
that would
was
be.
made
Like
for pirate ships, baby.
right. It would be like a French
Vikings
kiss,
weren't
except for
pirates,
there'd be-
but whatever.
No, they were. Well, they were a seagoing people.
Yeah, and
They could get on a boat and go places. That's for sure. But anyway, so you said like fucking Kiss. Right,
anyway,
like-
so I was just saying, like, yeah, I felt like when I was in my 20s that there were rules, and I needed to abide by the rules in order to look like I knew what I was talking about.
Well, and sure, and maybe that was part of the rules for that time. I mean, that's like just an evolutionary thing that happens to people, and I understand that. You know
But
what I
I
mean?
think, but post Mastodon is me becoming honest. So I'm still just as adventurous, and I'm still wanting to discover music,
Sure.
and I want to listen to music.
Sure.
But now I'm more honest with myself. So literally, I could sit at somebody's apartment, smoke a joint, and listen to Kind of Blue. And I could hear it and go, oh, that part's fucking great. But then
Right.
if they said,
Right.
hey, what's your favorite album of all time? I'd be like, Metallica. Because I have no
Right,
fucking
right,
problem saying that out loud.
Sure. Exactly.
So it's
Right.
like, so it's, I grew up, but this album was very important for me, like pushing me forward. Not to mention the fact that it's just fucking fantastic as a metal album in general.
Right.
But so yeah, so that's why it's one that I have the burps.
I had them too. It's carbonation.
That's
It's
why
awesome.
it was one of the ones that I would want to recommend to you because it's important to me, but also I feel like, even if you're not into metal, you can hear a metal album that people say this shit's fucking good. So,
Well,
yeah.
okay. I don't even really think it's metal.
Oh, it's very metal.
Well, I don't know. It sounds like there was a time period when Brit punk bands started to go heavier. They slowed down and went heavier with the way this guy sings.
Uh,
That's almost, it's almost more of a uh, discharge scream
oh, sure.
than it is a death metal thing or
Those
like a
punk bands
whatever,
are very
whatever.
important to all the great metal bands for real.
Okay. Well, then I guess it is a metal for sure.
Like fucking
But
Metallica. James Hetfield has been quoted many times saying that Discharge and GBH are two very important bands to
yeah.
where they went.
Okay. Well, then they are a metal record, I guess. But anyway, but this thing reminded me of that.
Okay.
There was a mid '80s attempt, not attempt. There was literally a movement to like make your albums more metal, and I think that
Yeah.
just because of how long can you play the other stuff? You can only play for a certain amount of time. You can only play the minute and 30-second songs at that speed for so long, and then you grow up. And I don't mean to be that way. It's
But
very important to be young and play those songs, and those songs are very relevant. But if
yeah,
as a musician in your career, you have to branch out at some point because that was a
it's
very intense little niche that you had to
what
stuff yourself
Yeah,
into.
a really good
Right.
example of that is that well, there's two bands in particular from that period that are like huge examples of these bands. One obviously Black Flag. So
Yeah.
you listen to like they did the stuff with the early vocalist and then
Yep.
Damage with Rollins, but then
Yep.
later on they got more metallic with it, and it's really just like, well, they already did that shit, and
Right.
they're wanting to try things that are different. A really big one is like the Descendants. They're a band that like is so important to me. But when people talk about Descendants, they talk about these cool little like poppy punk songs. But I'm just like, what about all the fucking bizarre odd time signature shit that doesn't make any sense whatsoever? Like, why is this even on the album? And
Right.
like, but it's like what you're saying. Like that stuff's good. The simple to the point shit can make some amazing music. But if you're like
Memorable.
a musician that's worth your fucking time,
Right.
you're eventually going to be like, what else can we do? How
Well,
can
and what
we,
that's what all was, right? All.
all, yeah, all was also,
That was it.
well, all eventually
That was it.
became very similar to the Descendants, but yeah,
Oh, sure, but it's the same players, right? Aren't there
yeah, just
bleed
different
over?
singer, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, yeah. So I feel like all was like, well, fuck it. We're not even going to do the pop thing anymore. We're just going to dive into this like odd time signature. Yeah. But I don't really know what the definition of math rock is, but sometimes I feel like what they were doing was math rock because the only thing that's holding that together is that they memorized their arrangement and they're all
And
changing at the same
they're
time.
all fucking tight as hell. Those musicians, like
But I
they're
guess all was also poppy. I didn't mean to take that away from them. They had
no,
some very
they've
fun.
always had some pop element, but
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
did lean into the
Yes.
we're not trying to be punk anymore. Kind of thing with all, but then the last two all albums sound like they could be Descendants albums, really.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, and now the Descendants are just the full time thing anyway. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
All their shit's good. Like Descendants put out a new album. I guess they haven't put out a new album in like about 10 years, but the last one was still really good.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate this record a lot.
nice.
I have to say that I really feel like I let you down, and the viewers. Sorry, viewers, about this with the Refused album because I didn't take very good notes because I was so bowled over by what was happening to me. I didn't even know
I think you did
how
great.
to talk about it. Okay, well, so I tried very very hard. This record also did the same thing to me that the Refused record did is that the arrangements to me like. I learned a lot about myself from this record because I about what I like, what I don't like, and how my brain needs a verse and a chorus and a verse and a chorus and a subject matter. And now we're gonna go and a melody.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of melody in this record. And to me, they're very athletic players and they're
Sure.
all incredibly good. And they are stuffing. That sounds that sounds negative. They're not stuffing. They are capable of rifling through many parts
Sure.
and even changing the emphasis on the last time you heard that part
Yes.
to now it's on this part of the beat. And it's fucking
That
impressive,
it's
but I
it
don't
doesn't
know. Go
it's
ahead.
also because Bron Daler is one of the best drummers, period. The drummer of Mastodon, he is fucking phenomenal. So yeah, it helps. It
Okay.
helps when you have a drummer that can decide just to completely switch up the beat, even though the rest of the musicians are still playing the same thing. Like,
Right. And it
yeah,
makes the whole thing sound like everybody switched, but it really was just the drums.
just the
Yeah, no,
drummer.
it was intense. Yeah,
Yeah.
very intense. Okay. So I gotta say, when this record went on for the first time, I already really, really liked it. The production of the record is fantastic. The way it sounds
Yeah.
is awesome. Like it's like the drums are almost they feel dry.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's I like that. It sounds like a drum kit. There's no wet reverby snare. I mean, there's some touches of that stuff on there, but
Yeah.
really overall, it sounds like you're in the room listening to them play. And when you turn it up very loud, it's really it's a very intense record. And
Yeah.
I will freely admit that there are on occasion records like this that I latch onto just because they're heavy. Like
Yeah.
just because they're heavy.
Sure.
Like I went out and bought Iowa. You can say what you want about Iowa, but that
By
record is
Slipknot?
yes,
Oh, okay.
it's very heavy. I loved that record. It was very dark. It was very pessimistic. It was kind of brutal and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
it was felt scary to me when it was out, when it was fresh, when it was new. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I know they're very divisive as a group or whatever.
Sure.
But like when I got that Queens of the Stone Age songs for, is it songs for the deaf? What
Songs for the deaf. Yeah.
was that's the red one?
Yep.
Yeah, that record
With
was
Dave
fucking
Grohl
really.
on drums.
Yep. And I wrote down some records that I got that during this time period because I got to say in 1999 I looked it up when Creed came out with Human Clay.
Yeah. Some great dude. I know I'm not a Creed hater at all, but like when you bring up the Creed, I did not expect Creed to come out of your mouth.
Okay, right. So, well, when this is going back to that 1997 thing where I couldn't really find any records that came out from 97. But then when I looked at all the bands I was into, they all put out records in 96 or 98. It was just the fact that if I wasn't listening to somebody in 97 or whatever,
Yeah.
I was like, no, I was still fully engaged in like listening to new music at that point.
Yeah.
But when Creed came out, and that was in I forgot, was that 99? That album I think was in 99.
Is Human Clay
When
the one with Higher on it? Can
I have
you
no
take
I have no idea.
me higher?
I don't know. I don't know. I have a big long explanation about my life and about music and about like when you were like, oh yeah, I'm not this heavy music's not really doing anything for me. I had a very long period of time about that kind of stuff where I'm just like, and I don't know if it was because I was in that stick and then we were on tour with heavy bands and I was immersed in this heavy thing and maybe I felt very fake
Yeah.
because really I just wanted to be adamant or whatever. And then here I was in this fucking, in a helmet style band or whatever, which I also loved. And that's another one of those records.
But not only that,
Meantime,
you guys were getting put on tour with Overkill and shit. So it's like,
right. It was a double dose.
there
It
was a
double
lot of
dose.
that.
Yeah. I had a lot of imposter syndrome at that time period, but look, I worked for a company for a brief amount of time. I was gifted an opportunity to work for an online company. I think I have to say this before I say the next thing I'm going to say. I have a very good friend who was offered a job as content producer at a website called Fret 12. Okay.
Okay.
Fret 12.
Fret
Okay.
12. Okay.
It was they were going to be an online music entity on the web and they wanted to interview guitar players. It was a guitar oriented thing.
Got it.
Leslie West, was like from Mountain was they had
Okay.
put out a series of videos. I want to say, I can't remember the rest of them, whatever. But my job was basically, can you go out, book interviews with bands, interview their guitar players, and ask them questions that fans will send into the website. It was that model. Remember when that model this was before that model was really big. I did find that to be a very innovative idea at the time. I was all too willing to do it. I sat down. I got all the bars in town. I got all the schedules.
So you were going and doing the interviews?
Yes.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I got all the schedules of all the bands playing in all the places. I got online. I found this was like what's that place that no one goes to anymore? That it was replaced by Facebook. MySpace. You could go to MySpace and you could pretty much look up any band you wanted to, find their management company, and give them a call. And I had the same spiel. Hey, my name is Mark. I'm working for this startup, website. Da da da. So as it turns out. As it turns out that the very cool people who owned this thing and were very nice to me and gave a dipshit an opportunity to do something that was above my skill level, but that I learned to do. Okay. They did not have to give me this job. Right. Okay. So I was giving only generosity by people who I liked and respected.
Sure.
Do you understand what I'm saying about this?
Yes.
This cannot be overstated.
Okay.
Their last name, the main guy and his uncle, I think, their last name was Tremonti.
Wait.
Right. I don't know who Tremonti
from Dream Theater?
No, Tremonti.
What's Tremonti from?
Good. I'm glad you can't place it right now. It's going to make this an even better story.
I'm going to be so mad that I didn't.
No, okay. So I'm doing all this stuff. I'm doing all these things. Occasionally.
Oh, he's from Creed. Tremonti. Mark Tremonti.
Mark Tremonti. So I am literally.
Sorry, Dream Theater fans.
No, it's all, yeah. So so here's the deal. I don't know what Creed looks like. I don't know anything about Creed at all.
Sure.
Except for that I heard that Creed record. And I literally said to myself, when I heard that Creed record, I am never listening to new music ever again. I'm only going back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's fine. I'm one dipshit in a candle store.
You ruined the future of music for one man.
Right.
Probably many people.
Well, okay. So here's the deal. I don't know who's in that band. So one day, there's this crew of guys that are in the office and they're all very fucking cool. And I walk in, they're already there. Everyone else is from it was like a real estate office. There was like a bunch of different people that worked in this big open corporate space in a fucking downtown.
Yeah.
Right. And everyone's joking with these guys and blah, 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 and I walk up and then, hey, they're very nice. They greet me. We're coming in. Everyone's laughing and having a great time. Oh, ha, ha, ha. It was really great. It was awesome. It was a great, oh, look what's happening at work. This is a party. What's going on? This is amazing.
Yeah.
And they leave and I'm all like, hey man, who was that? and these kids look at me and they're like, dude, that was Alter Bridge. And I was like, I don't know who Alter Bridge is. And they were like, dude, that's Mark Tremonti. And I'm like, Tremonti, because I know I'm working for the Tremontis. And I'm like, okay, who's Mark Tremonti? And because I had said, dude, who's that guy?
Yeah.
Because I had asked about him specifically because he was kick ass.
Yeah.
His demeanor, his attitude, his politeness, his humbleness, his he is fucking cool.
Yeah.
I felt like I was meeting a special person.
Sure.
I mean, this is a genuine feeling that I had. And they go, that's Mark Tremonti. And then I was like, goo.
And he was, and that says a lot about him because he was in a safe space. He didn't have to put on a show.
No, he was good.
Yeah.
He was honorable. He was honorable. I felt like, I didn't feel like the feeling I had was I met an honorable, cool, amazing human being.
Right, that's
And then I
great.
realized that he was in Creed or whatever, and I realized that I had been making all this nasty talk about
But I'm pretty sure that the reason
his.
you hated the Creed album was not because of him. It was because of Scott Stapp,
Well,
probably.
yes, no, probably right,
Yeah,
right, yeah. So anyway, that being said, I quit listening to new music in 1999. So I metal, rock,
well, I mean, you did listen to Iowa, which was a couple years later, so
right, exactly. What was that? 2002.
2000, something like that. Yeah,
Something like, okay. So I will say I did crawl my way back in. And by the way, that was also a Rolling Stone recommendation. They gave Iowa a very, very great review. And I thought, fuck it. I'd seen their stuff in the Tower Records prior or once, or I
and
think
the
I remember it
description
or
of their
whatever.
music was interesting to you, where you just wanted to
Oh,
go.
they just, and I was like, fuck it. I gotta dive back in. I gotta figure out what the fuck is going on. And I got that record, and it was very moving. I like it, people equal shit and all this
Yeah,
stuff. I was like,
yeah,
okay, all right. And the feeling that you and Eddie talk about, oh, this is edgy, or I'm a little bit scared, or I'm a little bit disturbed about this music. Like,
sure,
I don't
yeah,
really like that feeling. Like, I don't like that feeling. Like
yeah,
when you're talking about Cannibal Corpse and all this stuff, like when that stuff happens to me
yeah,
and it's violent, it's brutal, and I back off
yeah,
because I don't really I don't it just doesn't. I mean, for the most part, sometimes I'll like when NWA came out.
sure,
Do you remember how fucking I'm just gonna shoot you brutal that shit was? Like
sure,
that was terrifying to me. But at
yeah,
that point, I was like, okay. I leaned into it. You know what I mean? Because it was like, and then you just get into all that gangster rap stuff and everything. It was amazing. But anyway, that being said, a lot of times I pull back from the metal thing because I don't know. Anyway, so I wrote down these records. I did get Black Rebel Motorcycle Club came out, and the first one came out in
I mean,
2001.
not metal, but yeah,
Well, but that was a heavy rock record to me.
sure.
Like, okay. And then Iowa came out in 2001. Then Songs for the Deaf in 2002. And then New Junk Aesthetic.
New Junk Aesthetic by who?
That was
Who's that?
that. Okay. So this is the great part. This was 2009. I'm working for this website company, and I start having to listen to bands I'm using my own ear to pick out stuff that I think sounds cool to go interview their guitar players.
Okay.
New Junk Aesthetic was Every Time I Die.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they
And
did some cool shit. Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
wow, talk about that's fucking awesome. And then another band that I found that during that time period that I interviewed was Baroness. They had
Oh,
just put out that Blue album in
okay.
2000.
So that's a really interesting band for me because their first full length album, which is called the Red Album,
Yeah, the Red album.
totally blew me away. And I was such a huge fan of that band. And then every album since they have become worse and worse, or
Oh,
not
you think
not
so?
worse.
Okay.
They've become more bored. The Blue Album had some good shit that I loved on it,
Hmm.
but it's a gigantic step down from the Red Album, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Okay.
And they literally like, yeah, it broke my heart because I tried so hard to be into that band. And they still put out stuff now, and everyone's like, "Album of the year," and I'm just like, "Man, I wish I could
Well,
join
still,
in."
no, totally. And the artwork on those albums are incredible too. And that's the guy in the band that does those things, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's
Okay.
he's
So
done album art for a lot of people too. So yeah,
okay, but Baroness, I understood Every Time I Die because there was a fucking serious punk element to it that I was like,
yes,
okay, it's just full attitude. Like this is just full fucking attitude. And Baroness was not. Well, I mean they were, but they were very metal to me, and they had the unison guitar stuff. There's a lot of that. What do they call that when it's
the
one
harmony,
step up?
dual harmony, guitar.
Dual harmony guitar. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
So, but I was also very confused by that, but it was okay. It was a vibe, and I just enjoyed it, so I took the record in.
I mean,
And by
really,
the
you
way,
just
dude,
you trace that shit all the way back to Thin Lizzy, and there you go. You know,
well, there you go. Can I ask you a question? Like, I got on my computer the other day because I know for a fact that I had that record on my computer. I had The Veins of Jenna, which was another group I really got into around 2009. That was a metal act from Sweden that I really enjoyed. I had that record on. I had so many records on my because I could download them.
yeah.
You know, at work or whatever, I could download them on their account because I needed to hear them in order to go interview them and then familiarize myself with their music so I could enter into an interview. Because sometimes we didn't get any fan questions because the website wasn't like fully established yet. And so there weren't a lot of users. And so a lot of people didn't realize that feature existed. And so we didn't get a
Okay.
lot of questions. And so I had to supplement the interview with questions about their gear, basically. Where'd you get your sound? Da 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 da. Because it's Mark Tremonti's family. So because they're pushing Mark Tremonti as a guitar player and as an entity, which is, great.
Sure.
But they wanted to surround him by other people, and they wanted to make it look. Not make it. That sounds like they're doing something. They wanted to create an environment of other guitar players around him,
Sure.
around gear and playing.
Yeah.
Because the dude can play.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude can play the guitar. I mean, it's pretty astounding what he can do with that.
Yeah,
guitar. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And that's why they got Leslie West pulled in, you know what I mean? Because that gave him, there was that lent some credibility going back and all that other kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
Okay. So I was into that record. All that stuff is not on my computer anymore. Can iTunes remove songs from your fucking computer?
Yes. Well, not from your computer.
Because I even had records that I put on that I literally hooked up into my computer, into my DAW, and I broke the records down by track, and then named them, and then you know what I mean, from my vinyl.
Are you trying to find them through iTunes?
Yes.
So if there's stuff that literally you downloaded or you uploaded to your computer, just go to your actual files. Because it's very possible that it could disappear from iTunes. But if it was on your computer, you go to your actual files and find them.
Okay. Well, okay. So this is teach old guy about computers. Thanks,
I could walk you through it.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Someday.
Okay,
we could share screens one day, and then maybe that'll be the next episode where I teach Mark how to find files on his computer.
So when I got this record, man, I was like, this reminds me of Baroness.
Yeah, oh hell yeah! That especially that Baroness album that I love, very Mastodon like.
Okay, so I was drawn to it, and I fell into it the same way I felt into the other. And aren't they even both from Georgia?
Yeah, they are.
And I feel like, so when I started doing research on this group online, did my own research, I realized that, okay, so they're both from Georgia. Oh, and then when I got to Spotify, literally underneath Mastodon on Spotify, it says, if you like this, people also like, and Baroness was the first band on there.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, so I'm not crazy. Like it's in the same vein. Okay. So look, dude, I listened to this record like 8 or 9 times. I'm not kidding. And I enjoyed it. Like I wanted to listen to it. Like there were times when I was doing something, I'm like, oh, I could be listening to that Mastodon record right now. And I came in this room in there, I put it, made the mood lighting, put on the record, and I listened to it. And I was like, okay, I gotta figure out what the fuck is going on, because I can't tell what's happening. Like it is a massive, swirling, driving, churning thing that is just coming at you. And I got the lyric sheet out, and I read the lyrics. Good, great. I can see the loose connection to Moby Dick. I loved that book. So I was very engaged. But I could not for the life of me, if I had to talk about this record without listening to the music, I couldn't explain it. I couldn't go, I can do Helmet, you know what I mean? But I couldn't say one fucking riff or chord progression from that album. Okay. So I listened to it. I said, it's okay. I'll let it wash over me again and again and again.
Sure.
Because I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. Like it's very cool.
Yeah.
And then when I figured out, okay, that guy who has the voice that I really like is the guitar player dude. That's Brent Hines.
Hines, which at that point there's only 2 of them singing, but it's Brent and Troy are the 2 singers.
Right. And then when Troy came in on the
he has a little more gruff to his voice.
A little more. Yeah. A lot. But I was like, okay, great. And I really love how Brent broke up his words, and he seemed to be more melodic. There was like a more melody thing to what he was doing.
A little bit. Yeah.
Than just the cadence of like white whale, like just that kind of thing or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like,
which honestly, that part right there is Brent screaming white.
That's Brent.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be both of them doing it, but I know that Brent's is screaming on that part.
Look, it cannot be overstated how great this record sounds, by the way.
That sounds fantastic.
It fucking sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't check out the pedigree of the guy on the lyric sheet or whatever.
Is it Matt
who did
Bayless? Is he
I
the
think
guy
it's
that did
Matt
this
Bayless.
one?
Yeah.
He did quite a few really great sounding records. In fact, I think he worked on their next record too. But then they started branching out and working with other producers, so their albums started having a different kind of sound. But they always work with amazing producers.
Okay, so does Neil Fallon sing that first song
He is
from Clutch?
The best part
Blood
of
and
that
Thunder?
fucking song when it kicks into that end part. That's Neil Fallon.
That's Neil Fallon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just the last like 30 seconds of the song or whatever,
Right.
is Neil Fallon. He doesn't
It's the
sing.
big closer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which that song gives me fucking goosebumps. It's so good.
Dude, it's really good.
But it's the ending of that song that does it for me every time. And Clutch is just like Baroness. First two Clutch albums, two of my favorite albums of all time.
Right.
And then they totally fall off and can continue to make this sort of middle of the road groovy rock stuff that's just so not interesting, but not bad. Just like not exciting at all. And it breaks my heart once again. It's so weird that you brought these two bands that are the two biggest examples of bands that I went, yes, and then went to go, oh, no.
Really? Fine.
But those first two Clutch records, man, fucking love them.
Yeah.
So the one that was out like around the time you guys were touring,
we played with them.
The self-titled Clutch record that has like the space looking thing on the front.
Yeah.
Love that record so much.
Yeah. We played with them. I think I can't remember where, but we played a couple shows with them, I think, and it was cool. They were cool. It was awesome. Yeah, that was a good show. That felt like we were on the bill that we needed to be.
You guys, especially that first Clutch record, you guys have a similar vibe.
Right.
To what they were doing. You guys are just obviously your vocal approach is less. You're less showing your weirdo in all of your stuff. Your weirdo is more in your lyrics than in your delivery.
Okay.
Whereas I feel like Neil's his delivery at that point he was just like, I'm fucking weird.
Right.
He was overtly weird.
Yes. Right. So at around, I don't know, I sent you a picture of this piece of paper that I decided that I was going to break down. You said, what are you going to do? You going to learn how to play those songs?
Yeah.
There's no way I'm going to learn how to play these songs. Like, that was way too complicated. But what I had to do was I had to try to understand what was happening.
Yeah.
And this is really great. Jessica, who has been in and out of this process with me, because of course we live in this little apartment, she's been exposed to Mastodon over and over and over again. And I often say, like, I really don't understand life unless I filter it through her. Like, sure. I feel like sometimes she, like, we're like, we love one another, and it's like when I feel like if I have a thought that comes wildly into my head or whatever, it's never really very formalized or whatever, but then she kind of like repeats back to me, so is it this? And then I go, no,
dude.
And then
honestly, like, every single thing in life aside from music, I'm like that with my wife. Like,
right?
Like anything
so
else,
cool.
I filter it through her. Like, am I thinking the right way about this or whatever? Music's the only thing that I'm kind of like a loner on, and I'm on my own. I have my own thing. Everything else, I'm all like, please help me out here.
Totally. And like when she said, I was kind of interested in what that was. Like, that was hugely surprising to me that something like that would have attracted her attention. So at some point I sat down and with that Blood and Thunder, and I was like, okay, honestly, you have the opening riff, which I can't sing in my mouth.
Not hard to play, actually.
Shut down. Well, okay, but then how's the chorus go? Dong, dang, dong, dang, dong, dong, ding, dang. Okay, that one.
Oh God, it's so good.
Yeah. Okay. So then it goes into verse 2, and then in another chorus. So I'm like, you know what? Really, so far, this is what a song arrangement is in my mind.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Okay. Then it goes into that part. There's a part in the middle. Can you do that?
Oh, fuck yes. Fuck. And the way the drums play over that part, fucking shit. That dude's a genius.
Okay. And then it goes into another chorus, and then it goes back to the opening riff, and then there's that big closer.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, I I had to do this. I had to write down the formula before
Yeah.
I understood what was going on.
Which for that song, it's not very exciting. Like
No,
if you
that
break it
one's
down.
that I know. So I was like, oh, I'm beginning to understand this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So I get into Sea Beast. Okay. Intro, verse one, intro part, verse two, chorus, which
Yeah,
is the
CB second is such a weird thing to me. It really bothers me, but it's a great song.
okay. It is a great song. It's a great song.
Yeah.
This made me go online to see them playing it live
Oh, okay.
because I wanted to see if they could pull this off. And
See,
they
so
do.
Sea Beast is amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, it's weird as a second track, but I fucking love the song so much. So it's
Well,
weird.
okay,
It's
so
weird.
Brent's voice is awesome. It has that Aussie quality. It's
And that's the
in
only
that-
one on the album he really kind of like.
Well, no, he's go ahead.
He kind of sings on that one. Is there another one where he?
Yeah, there's a total another one. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yes, okay. But Sea
Yeah.
Beast is because Sea Beast, in my opinion, comes track 3 or 4 on the original version I heard.
Yeah, dude, it's very off-putting when you get used to a track order and then they switch it on you. I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is the first time I've heard it, so this is the way it is to me. So,
But it's actually kind of cool when I think about it now, hearing it for the first time, because the way that Sea Beast begins and the way that it ends.
and that they
It's
introduce another voice. Second song, it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna throw that into something else.
Yeah.
So then I get into then I get into Iron Tusk, and Iron Tusk, that one. Look, I was doing this.
But hold on, before we move forward, because
please.
Sea
Yes,
Beast.
yes. Yeah.
It's so weird. Like I'm really bad with song titles.
Sure.
And so sometimes even albums that I've heard like 100 times, I'll go,
Sure.
what song is what?
No,
But Sea Beast is like, so it starts off a little bit more, probably, a little more mellow. But
yes,
the ending of that song, like, if you want to talk about a song giving me goosebumps, that riff, because it ends like it ends, but then that last riff, like that whole thing, I'm just like, oh my God.
I literally wrote wicked riff part. Because that fucking thing at the end is fucking
the
insane.
First time I heard this fucking album, the end of that song comes in, and I was just like, "Oh my God!"
Right.
It's like it's so good. Anyway, but at that point, and when I first heard the album, that was that may have been song number 3. I don't remember the original track list, because now I only listen to it on vinyl, which is a different track list. So I'm trying to get used to it, but I really hope they do like a newer version of this where they put it back where it's supposed to go.
Well, I mean, I also really love the lyrics on that song too. By the way, and you and I have not really had to talk about lyrics or whatever, but I almost have to have lyrics that I'm engaged in, or I will not enjoy the group or artist. And if the artist has really great lyrics and doesn't have music I like, I will attach myself to that because their lyrics are good.
Well, when it comes to metal bands or more aggressive bands in general, my favorite thing to do is, because like the first time I listen to an album, if something piques my interest, I order the vinyl, I wait for the vinyl to get to my house.
Yep.
Then I put the record on and I literally don't look at anything on the record. I sit and I listen to what's coming out of the speakers. And if I like it that much, then I will be listening to it again, reading along with the lyrics. At that point, if the lyrics trigger something in me, that's when it's going to be a favorite album of mine. When those two things coalesce, where it's like, oh, the music did something for me, but now it almost like gives me another layer of something to like, and but that being said, there can be an amazing album musically, and then I read the lyrics and I go, well, that's kind of lame. But it doesn't make me not like the album, but it's not gonna not gonna prop it up to that level. Yeah.
Right. So so then I put on this iron, then Iron Tusk comes on, and I write intro, verse 1, transition, back to the intro part, verse 2, and then is this the chorus? Because at this point my ear becomes
I
fatigued.
don't even know if that one has a chorus.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like, and so then there's a third part, and then there's the chorus part again. I think it's the chorus part, like the thing that I had labeled the chorus part. But here's the deal: I can't. I now it is steamrolling at you so hard and with
Oh, yeah.
such an attitude that I don't know. I can't. Like you know what I mean? Like I can do
Well,
that.
Helmet
you know?
has very specific. It's like the
Very,
different
I
parts
know
of their
it's very
songs.
specific. Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. But I'm totally. I can't figure out. Then there's a fourth part that I don't think is been played before in the song. Then there's that chorus part again. Then there's an
Yeah.
outro. Then there's the intro part again. And then he just screams "sail on," and I
Yeah.
was like, "Whoa!" I'm trying to keep it. You know, I can't do it. I'm
Yeah.
completely lost. Okay, so here's the deal. Megalodon. Do you have anything you want to say about that song?
No, no. I mean,
Okay,
you're
it's
doing
intense. So
good. You're doing good.
I get into Megalodon, same thing. Intro, but then the intro has a B riff part that comes in. Then there's verse 1, then there's the guitar like it almost sounds country. There's like a little lick that comes in that's
Yeah.
just the guitar part.
That's
okay.
a lot of that stuff when you're hearing that kind of stuff. That if it sounds a little bit twangy, that's Brent Hines.
Okay, well,
He brings that stuff into the. Well, he brought rest in peace. He brought that
right.
stuff into the band.
okay, so the big part, there's this big part that and it's a double time. Now the song is really cooking. And then there's another part, and then I wrote, now I'm lost, can't tell one word from the other. It's clear at this point that music is now doing something that I don't understand. It is working. It is working towards a goal that I cannot recognize. While I was not paying attention, the rules have changed.
Yeah.
So
Well, there's something about, like, I always put like the best metal bands, and I won't just say metal because there's bands that wouldn't be considered metal that do the same thing, but there are some bands that are so good at what they do that it's almost like you're in a car that is just going like 150 miles an hour and
Yes.
swerving back and forth, but you know the driver is one of the best drivers in the world. So you're not worried. You're
Right.
just like, take me wherever you're going to take me. This is fucking
Right.
fun. That's how I
Right.
feel about Mastodon. It's one of those bands that if
Okay.
they do throw a song at you where
Right.
you're like, what the fuck's happening? But
Exactly.
you feel okay. Dude, here's the thing. I could give you some other metal that will make this seem tame in comparison.
Oh, I bet you could. Because I mean, but do you think that this is an evolution? Because I mean, think about
Sure,
Sabbath.
yeah.
Think about Sabbath. It's heavy as fuck. It's got a very notable riff. It's got a very notable chorus. It has a very notable thing that they do under, and maybe they go off into doodle 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 doodle. Maybe they go off into something, and then the guitar solo comes on. Like, and that's another thing. There are very few guitar solos on this record, which
Yeah.
is why I feel like this record is very punk rock oriented. I mean, the way they chose to produce their guitars and how the guy sings all this stuff, it's very punk. So so when you say prog, I guess maybe prog music would have also done this kind of athletics too,
Yeah,
which is probably why I didn't really listen to it because I get confused. Like when
Yeah.
the Ramones say, "Hey, ho, let's go," then
Yeah.
I'm in it. You know what I mean? And then there's a very clear chorus, very clear or verse, very clear chorus, very clear subject matter, very clear lyrics, very
So-
distinctive melody.
Yeah. So
You know what I mean?
like-
And I
like,
can tell one song.
I can give you a good, like, if you're talking about prog music, I can give you like a really basic, well-known example. So, "Spirit of Radio" by Rush.
Okay.
Do you know that song, right?
I maybe no.
Okay.
I don't. Okay.
Yeah, you should just go listen to that fucking song.
What
Anyway,
album's it on? I
it's
only have ever heard
on,
anything off of
it's
Moving
on
Pictures.
Permanent Waves. Permanent Waves. So 1980 was Permanent Waves or 80,
Right.
80 yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
so there's a section in the song where if you're listening to it and you're trying to determine what they're playing, it would be really confusing to map it out because it literally goes, like it does this little thing. And from what I read about the band, they literally wrote a piece of music to sound like you're quickly moving through radio stations on the radio. So they're writing something that goes, and then it immediately goes into a riff that's very easy to tell like where you are.
Okay.
They didn't need to do that. Like that's what I'm saying.
Nobody
like,
asked.
The song would have worked perfectly going from one part to the next part. But they decided that this particular part, this is what they wanted to write. And to me, that is the essence of what is prog, where you're taking things that if you literally strip it, you could find a basic element of, oh, here are the bass notes of what they're doing. But then there's like, oh, there's this little section. Why did they do that? Why not? They just threw it in there. So I think when I say proggy, I mean bands that take something that could easily just be done 4/4 times.
Yes, and complicate it.
It's not. But it's done in a pleasing way. Like I almost feel like it adds an element of surprise to something that if you take it out, it might otherwise be too, like, because like music is just repeating these fucking note patterns.
Yes, it is.
And like a lot of these bands, like there were metal bands like before Mastodon, if you want to go all the way back, late 80s is probably when it really started to happen.
What about Hawkwind?
Hawkwind didn't really do. They were proggy in a different way, though. They didn't.
And proggy is short for progressive.
Gotcha. Which is basically taking a sound and like pushing it in directions that aren't expected. That's what I consider it.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to just
Lake
be
and Palmer.
Yes, prog. Doesn't have to be metal.
Okay.
It doesn't. Yes, is a prog band.
Sure. Okay.
But like. In the late 80s, there were bands that would be considered very extreme, like death metal. There's a band called Atheist, and they're a band that, like, if you take just one section, you'd be like, well, this is just like, they're just like growling and playing these metal riffs. But then there'll be a section where you go, what the fuck did they just do? And it was like, so it's like, but you're right. Like it is, all of these bands are pushing forward in some sort of way or another. Okay. And then there are other bands that lean into that and kind of borrow from that. And they may do a similar version that's already there and you may enjoy it. But there are bands, and I think Mastodon is one of those, or was one of those bands. I feel like they've established their sound at this point, but they were one of those bands that was actually prog in the respect of they're taking something and pushing it in a direction that you're not expecting. Which is right. Which is what I'm kind of where I was coming with all that.
Yes. No, and I agree. And that analogy about the car is a really good one.
Yeah, if you have a good driver, then you'll put up with the wildest fucking ride.
Right. And if I have that little harness on,
or you have grab the shit handle on the side.
Well, yeah, I was going to say I'll get on any fucking roller coaster, even the ones that go upside down, as long as I know I'm not going to fall out of that.
I don't do that shit. No.
Oh, I love roller coasters.
Too many videos of roller coaster accidents for me. Thanks.
Yeah, I guess that is part of it.
It's also not fun enough for me to I don't get into good enough. It's like the opposite of being on a stage playing in a band. The bad feelings outweigh the good feelings. So I just go, you're good. You're good.
I just shut my eyes and scream.
That's how I feel about life at this point.
Yeah, no, totally. Okay, dude. So Megalodon is a great song. And then we get into Naked Burn. Naked Burn is where Brett comes back in.
Yeah.
That's his other vote.
Well, hold on. Naked Burn is that's not Brent.
That's not him singing?
No. That is Troy.
It sounds like Brent's. Does Troy also sing ungruffly?
Yes. Hold on. Naked. Now, hold on. So hold on. Just give me a moment. Hi
everyone in the internet. The old head is going to look up something right now. So
I just want to make sure, because I told you that I'm really bad with song titles, and then I'm trying to make sure that I'm talking about the right song. All right, so here it is. Here's Leviathan.
Angels dancing with a mortal sin, a giant born within a woman's womb, Nephilim walking through the forest, breaking.
Oh, never mind. So even the version on streaming is the streaming version is the correct version. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Sorry about that. So it's Blood and Thunder, I Am Ahab, Sea Beast, Island, Iron Tusk, Megalodon, Naked Burn, Aqua Dementia. So yeah, that's the right. Anyway, so that's why I'm thrown off because I'm like, wait, is this that one? Never mind. Just go ahead. Just
Okay, but it is Brent Hines, right?
yes, it is Brent Hines on that one.
Because that whole thing, as we bow and give respect to the God, save yourself and don't, like that. Oh, what's that? The endless. Where's that thing? Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
says Nephilim walking through the forest, breaking limbs. I can't even do it. Whatever. Anyway, I love the way he sings. He
yeah.
breaks up his words really cool, and I just saw today, I that it got really nasty between them
Yeah, it's really bizarre
because it
because,
started out fine and then
well,
it's getting
no,
nasty.
here's the thing. As a Mastodon fan for 20
Sure,
years now,
sure,
if you see interviews with the other three guys in the band, the
right.
interview is always like,
We really respect him and what he
we,
brought to the band
but
and
also,
establishing.
but here's the thing: they will be like, we love this music and we're excited about what we're doing. Interviews with Brent were always like, I don't like metal. I don't, I don't want to play this music. There was a whole
Really?
lot of interviews of him where he's just,
While he was in the band?
yes, he seems like he had like two other bands that were like
Okay.
smaller, but he was very vocal about like not really being into the music that they were making. Sometimes he
Okay.
wouldn't say that, but then sometimes he did. So he left the band, and to fans like me, I went, that makes sense. He didn't seem like he was having a good time. And
Okay.
honestly, as their music has progressed, their stuff is always good, but the last couple albums they reached a point where I feel like they were repeating themselves a little bit. You'll hear me
Okay.
talk about this on the next Cranked and Ranked.
Oh, good.
Even though it's very good, they did so many albums in a row where every album you'd be like, this is something different from this band.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then the last like two or three albums, all of a sudden they really sort of settled in on a sound. And I always felt like something needs to shake this band up. And when he left, at first I went, this is good because he's not happy. The drummer sings now, who sings way better than Brent does. And then you've got Troy, who is more melodic with his vocals than he was. He's still gruff sounding, but he's more melodic. And so I thought, oh, this might end up being a good thing. And then Brent can go play the music that he wants to play. And then all of
Right.
a sudden I see these stories about he's bad mouthing the band.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm just
That-
like, but he's known to have to have had like alcohol and drug problems. And so I was
Okay.
like, well, maybe he's just fucked up and he doesn't know what he's saying.
Right.
And then the next thing I know, he dies
Dead.
in
Yeah.
a motorcycle
Motorcycle
accident.
accident. Yeah.
And so it's really depressing because it's like, I'm not obviously there. I don't deserve. I'm not friends with them, so I don't deserve an explanation. But
Right.
but as a fan, I'm all like, can you guys explain to me what the fuck just happened? Because
Right.
literally it went from him leaving to him bad mouthing you guys, which seems very weird. And then all of a sudden he's dead. The whole series of events, it was just like,
And it was quick too, right?
it was very quick. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, it's so bizarre because I'm just like, was that drug and alcohol related? Like, was he, just sort of doing things on the internet when he probably shouldn't have been? And just, I don't know. It's very weird as a fan to like when things like that happen in a band.
So I gotta say, like my awareness of the band, I guess, if I'm being 100% truthful, is that I went to. Oh, I always fuck up this thing. It's called Kuma's Corner. I
Oh
always
yeah.
fuck it up, and people always make fun of me because I say Kunines or I say something wrong, but it's Kuma. It's Kuma's Corner. I've been there before.
It's not a very good name for a place that specializes in metal burgers.
I'm assuming that's someone's name
Sure.
that started the
Yeah.
place or something or whatever. Anyway, the burgers are fucking fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
No lie. And that's why I've been there because people are like, dude, you got to go see these burgers. And then you go in there and the whole thing is a metal rock thing. And that's kind of interesting. You're like, okay, this is cool. We're going to eat a rock and roll burger and then whatever. And when you sent me this record, I was like, oh, I have had the one time I was at that place I had before eating there recently, where I was sending you pictures and shit,
Yeah.
was I ate the Mastodon burger, and I ate it because it was called Mastodon, and it had bacon, and because I like mastodons, like I'm as a
Yeah.
kid in dinosaurs, and the
Yeah.
mastodon was always really awesome, so I'm like
Yeah.
drawn to that name. Okay, so I'm like, oh, this is really cool, and then I really liked the album, and then I got really excited, and then I went back and ate another mastodon burger or whatever. But I remember when I had eaten this burger, and I bet at this place, I was also struck with the fact that I don't understand what is going on in the metal scene anymore. Like I really don't. Like it's just too. I've been away too long, and it changed really hardcore.
Uh-huh.
And so, but when I would catch a glimpse somewhere, I'm flying, and okay, I'll buy Rolling Stone because I'm going to be on an airplane for 4 hours or whatever, and then Mastodon would be in there. I would like be drawn to them just because of these little tidbits of things that like
Yeah.
stimulate your band to like want to look at it or whatever. And I remember Brent, he's the only one that I could have, because he's got that head tattoo and he's just sleeved out or whatever,
Yeah.
and he looks a little like he looks kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not bad, but he does seem to be walking the walk.
As far as I can remember, his head tattoo came from he fought one of the members of System of the Down and got his ass put in the hospital. And then I think he tattooed over his head scar. If I remember right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I always thought that maybe he was the focal point of the band, because a lot of times he's kind of standing in front or whatever, you know what I mean?
Well,
And
he's I mean, it's a very weird band because he's the guy that if you're ever hearing a guitar solo where you're just like, "Ooh, that sounds tasty," it's usually Brent playing.
okay.
The guy that writes pretty much most of the fucking music is Bill, the other guitar player.
The other guitar player.
He's the
Okay.
guy that is the mastermind. Like a lot of riffs that you fucking love, if you hear it, that's probably Bill that did it.
Okay.
The other guys wrote shit too. I mean, Troy writes shit as well, and fucking Braun, the drummer, writes stuff too.
Okay.
So, but I think he was put in the in the limelight because he, especially on their first album, he does a lot of the vocals, but he's doing more yelly, screamy stuff on the
Okay.
first album. This is the second album that you're hearing, but that we're talking
Okay.
about. But so I think the combination of those things, the fact that he was a more flashy guitar player, and he also was a lead vocalist on some tracks, some notable tracks, he gets put in the forefront of like, hey,
Okay.
you're the guy,
Okay. So excuse me, Naked Burn comes on, and I tried to do another. This is, I think, really this is where I stopped going back and listening to the record again. I actually wish I had it on CD at some point, or I had it on streaming, so I could go, okay, the chorus starts here. And so I could, next time I thought I was hearing because they don't even repeat the same words a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's not like they're even when it's the chorus part, sometimes it's not, it's literally different words. And so I'm not clued into the fact that the part is the same or whatever.
Yeah,
I get very confused in the thing. So I stopped doing it at this point because I just wanted to listen to it through, and I just thought, well, what's my first reaction to this kind of stuff? And again, I mean, I got very lost. But I enjoyed the song, and again, whatever I go on. But now Aqua Dementia closes out that side, and I don't know who Scott Kelly is. Who's Scott Kelly?
He is the singer or vocalist of a band called Neurosis.
Does he sing that whole song? Because it's
No,
There's like a
I think he
different-
does part of the song.
Okay, but who's singing that? Who's singing? It sounds different. It sounds like the Skeksis from Dark Crystal. He's got kind of a
You're probably that is probably Scott right there.
yeah. So
That's
a very
another
interesting-
that's another sad sort of. It's not really sad. It's sad if you're a fan of Neurosis, which I liked some of Neurosis, but I'm not really like a huge fan. But I knew a lot of people that were. But literally, like, this may have been 3 or 4 years ago, where all of a sudden on the internet he posts this thing, essentially saying, "Look, I've been beating my wife and my kids, and I feel bad about it. Now I'm going to stop making music. That was it. So much so that even the rest of the band went, fuck this guy. So yeah.
Did he get held and stuff? Like, did he stop? Do we know? Like, what happened?
As far as I know, I mean, he was in his statement, obviously he was seeking help and blah, blah, blah. I don't know if it was alcohol related. I don't remember his whole statement, but I just remember being like, holy shit, dude. Like there's a part of me that goes, good on you for coming out and saying, here's why I'm retreating from, public life. But also I'm just like, man, you really shot yourself in the foot, because now I'm just like, fuck neurosis. I don't want to hear this fucking family beating guy singing anything ever again.
Right.
So the fact that he's like, the newest Mastodon is the first album that he's not on. He does a guest spot on every Mastodon album. And then eventually even the Mastodon guys went, bye, dude.
Wow. Okay.
So,
okay.
yeah.
Well, he does have a cool voice. So
he does,
not excusing, not excusing
Neurosis,
anything else.
Neurosis is another band that
right.
Neurosis is another band that did push boundaries of stuff.
Okay.
But unfortunately, yeah. I am the kind of person that I don't separate the art from the artist.
It's very difficult to do
for me. For some people, it's easy. So yeah.
Well, okay. So that album, that song is very intense and as far as I'm concerned, and I guess maybe this was not the case for what you heard, or I guess it would not have been. This is why I love vinyl, because you have a first side and a second side, and so this one just, it pounds you right at the end of that side, like right. I feel like it, like right when you think it can't get, or when I thought I was like. First of all, it's been beating me about the head the whole time, and then it decides to amp up into that song, and then just close out that side, and it's very intense.
Yeah, it's on the second half of the album in the original version, but yeah.
Okay, so side 2, Flip. I Am Ahab. Awesome.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just going. I'm just writing and not going back to listen. And again, I'm very, very confused. But again, dude, it's that driver's thing. Like, okay, well, they're still at it. They're still doing it. My attention is still here. And I've listened to this record a whole bunch. I'm coming back to it because I'm actually looking forward to putting the needle on it and listening to it again to try to figure it out. I almost started taking it on like very cerebrally, like I needed to crack what was happening because I just couldn't. It was too slippery in there, and it was like, so Island, okay,
yeah.
I mean, do you want to say anything about these songs? I mean, do you? Because like,
Island is Island is the one, if I remember right. Is that the one where like the second half of the song, it does that part where it sounds like it's about to end and it just has this little guitar melody, and then all of a sudden it gets ramped way the fuck up? Because that's one of my favorite parts of the album. Because it's literally just it just breaks to just Brent's guitar going like. Well,
I know. I thought that one was the licky part from the other song.
Well, maybe it is.
Well, maybe he does it here too. I apologize about this, ladies and gentlemen, for not being.
I'm not that big of a fan of this album, actually. I don't even really remember it. So I'm just kidding.
Oh, that
I'm just playing.
Fucked up. Psych.
I'm just so bad with song titles that like, especially in an album like this where there's 2 different versions where they switch up the songs. I'm just like, what one am I listening to?
Right. Well, and then this is really where I'm like even more impressed with their skill. Like, I think Islands just starts out into a verse, and then maybe there's a part 2, and then there's some sort of riffage. Maybe it's another verse. Maybe it's a part 2, then another part, maybe verse 2, some sort of riffage. Is this even the same guitar soloish part? Another part?
Man,
is
it new?
To
just go with the flow, man.
Is it new? I don't know. Right. Yeah, exactly. Is it repeated or is it new? I can't tell. There's a bunch of big chords, and then bam, the song is out.
Yeah.
And so, okay, now this is even before we get to that. Is this the next one, the one that just is like a super freak out song?
Hearts Alive.
Yeah, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah. So
what the fuck is with that song? How long is that song?
7 minutes, I believe. It's a 7-minute song, something like that.
That's all?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, because it feels like 15, and that's another thing with the record is you can't see the counter going up to see how long each
Well,
song is or
it's at
whatever.
least under because a vinyl has a limit, but I don't know.
Okay, right. Well, it is a fucking epic.
Yeah,
Like
dude.
that is
At this
epic.
point, I feel I really want to send you "Crack the Sky," their fourth album, because
Okay,
it is insane, but in way more of a melodic way. So
okay,
it gets proggier and also more melodic while
okay.
it's like I really almost feel like you need to hear that album next. So,
Okay.
because it is one
Well,
of those albums that when it came out, I was just like, "What the fuck did they do?" And
yeah,
like,
what? Right.
and it's great. It's so great.
Okay. Because I brought down intro. It's a very long intro. Then they got a rock part comes in, and then finally there's a big groove, and then they climb, and then they change, and then there's verse one, and then there's something else. Are we back? I have no idea. It's a quieter part with spoken words. Now it's loud again. Have I heard this part? Is it new? I have no idea. Softer intro-ish part. Maybe loud, maybe it's that. I don't know. Loud again. Is this another verse? Is it a chorus? I have no idea. This is a math part. Then there's the spoken word again. Then there's a change. We're back to the climb part. Lots of drums, gruff yelling, and this is this is way too long. I'm super confused.
Yeah.
I just wanted it like at some point to kind of draw to an end, but
Yeah.
it doesn't. That's like halfway through the song. I
Yeah.
mean, this is the
How long is
kind
that
of
one?
chops. This is kind of chops these
Oh
fucking
no, never mind. It's 13 minutes long.
dude.
13
It
minutes and
seems
40 seconds.
okay, it's okay. So I understand this is an epic, but I'm lost. Now it's rocking again. Unison guitar bends. Another math part. Please be over. Nope, not over. Guitar picking part. More
Yeah.
drum rolls. Syncopated beat. Another change. Back again. Maybe. This was just the second part of the first part. I bet if I was doing a task, this would be super cool. Like I would really be getting done the thing I was doing
Yeah.
if this epic was playing. I imagine I would
There's
really
it's
be
so
efficient.
great like cuz on like there's a there's a so on the very next album
Uh-huh.
there's a song called Capillary and Crest that like I would love to get a live reaction from you because you would just be like, what is this?
I know, dude. It's awesome. I really
Yeah.
appreciate this whole thing, but yeah, like I got to the point where I'm like, oh shit, I'm out of paper. Like I wrote to like I'm just writing stuff. This whole thing is going on, so I couldn't believe that that song existed.
Yeah.
Like, and bravo,
But
for,
then they smooth it out at the end there with the last
with
song.
that Joseph Merrick.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's okay. That's what I wrote. Okay, wow, acoustic guitars, right? It's awesome. I can breathe.
Yeah.
Because like that other song is a face pounder for a long ass time. They do
Yeah.
not let you up to breathe. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's psychedelic. It's almost psychedelic. It's thoughtful. Now we have
Yeah.
this little thoughtful, reflective part. Finally, some melody. This is nice. It feels like a song. And it's got a great little closer. And that's it. I
Yeah.
mean, so I think the record is fantastic. I'm a huge fan of Moby Dick. If you ever fucking feel like it, just start listening to that book because you will understand
Yeah.
this record way the fuck more.
Yeah.
Whatever, if you're interested.
And from and from the standpoint of the band, like they from this point on, they all of their albums they always have a theme, and sometimes it's two themes.
Oh, okay.
Because sometimes it will be a theme that's more broad, and then something closer, like in this case, water, and then another one will be fire or whatever,
Okay.
But that's just like the basic theme. But then there'll be a bigger theme if you really like. But it's never something like this where you already know it. Like it's not like a book again.
Sure.
They did
Sure.
it once, and that's really it.
Okay.
But
Well, you picked the right one to send to me.
yeah,
Let's put
so
it that way.
because really like the album that comes after this, they stick to what they're doing, but they push boundaries in certain songs. But then the album after that, which is the one I was talking about, Crack the Sky, it is so unexpected how like imagine like it's like the second half of the album is all Hearts Alive. It's like three Hearts Alive in a row. These big long songs, but
Right.
there's more melodic parts to it where like there's even some parts where like the groove is so groovy that you're just like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
okay,
Where did this come from?
right, right. Because do
Um,
you think that there's a lack of groove on this one?
um, yeah, I wouldn't call any part
Okay.
of this album groovy.
Yeah, it doesn't really
I
groove.
would say that there is a lot more melodic parts than just that last song. I just feel like their idea of melodies doesn't cycle through quickly enough, so it's not easy to latch on to the melodic part.
Exactly.
So where
Yes.
somebody would write
Right.
like ding 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 ding, theirs would be
Yeah.
more like ding 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 ding. So it's like, but
Right,
it
right,
does
right.
start again, but you're
Yeah.
not. It's not in a way that it's easy for your brain to go, oh, I get the melody of this part.
Right.
But like it's this the you'll I'll talk about you once you, because I know you watch
Okay.
Cranked and Ranked.
I do. I'm a
I,
fan.
I they are a band that on album number 3 the drummer starts singing, so now there's 3 vocalists and the drummer actually has a really good range,
Okay.
and it adds another element to the music. And so they get a little more adventurous with being melodic, even in the heavier songs. They
Okay.
write songs that if you literally took, there's a few songs from their catalog that if you took the distorted guitars away, it's just a fucking pop rock song. Like it's not metal.
Okay. Okay.
And but they'll, on the same album, they will have a song where you're just like, what the fuck just happened? So they stick to that, but they did get to a point in the last few albums where they really did sort of like, here's what to expect from Mastodon, and nothing is going to surprise you. You're going to love it, but it's
Right.
not going to surprise you.
It's going to do the Mastodon thing.
So that's why I'm very fascinated to know where they're going to go now, because Brent's not in the band anymore. They're working on new material. I don't even know if they have a full-time guitarist. I think they have a guy that's just sitting in.
Yeah, like he just
Brent.
died in August.
Yeah. But he had already left the band. Like,
But that was like 5 months before then. So Mastodon has not produced any music without him
no,
on it.
not yet. Not yet.
No, they've just been playing live.
But
with
to
a
be fair,
replacement
their
guitar
last
player.
album, there is a lack of Brent vocals. He's on some songs, but it is mostly Troy and Braun doing a lot the heavy lifting on vocals,
Okay.
which is not, I mean, to me, it's not a bad thing. Like, but it's really weird. It's really weird when you're a fan of a band and a member of the band is like, I don't really like this. And then they leave and you're like, well, good, fucking get out. And then he dies. And you're just like, well, I didn't
Yeah,
want you
no,
to
totally.
die. I didn't want you to die.
Right. Seriously, dude.
I just
did
felt
not
like
want
the
you to
band
die.
needed
Yeah, right.
to move on.
Right.
And I'm really hoping that they are able to put out something that has some element of surprise, because that's what their first like 5 albums do. Their first 5
Okay.
albums, even their first album, which is called Remission, is an album that of its time, nothing sounded like that album. It's more metal, but it's more of like there's a term that they threw around for certain bands called sludge metal, and
Sludge, yeah.
and it literally does feel like you're walking in this crazy, like bog or something.
Okay.
And
Easy
and
bog.
crazy bog. Anyway, but yeah, I'm glad you liked this album, because I was, if you had said that it was like too grating or too much going on, you couldn't get into it, I would not have faulted you for it at all, because it's not an album that I will just give to any old person to listen to. I'm not going to be like, you're going to get into metal from this album. No, it's not going
Right.
to happen. They're going to have to get in through something else and work their way to this album.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. Well, no, but I mean, this is definitely the heavy record, and this is how old is this record?
20 years old at this point.
Okay,
I think
so it's not even-
2004.
it's not
I think
even-
is
it's
when
not
this came
even-
out.
It's not even current, but for me, it's current, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was very intense, and
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. They seem like decent enough human beings or whatever too. I mean, I feel
Yes.
like they're not like, they're just, I don't know. I
No,
mean,
no,
like I'm not, yeah, if
they're
they
the
were
kind
like
of
Gene Simmons or Blackie Lawless or something, I would
no,
be like
they're the
down a
kind
little
of
bit.
dudes that they're the kind
Right?
of dudes that like they seem like not only smart people, but
Sure.
also people that are cognizant of what they do and who their fans are, and they're
Yes.
not trying to be rock star. Well, I mean, they are rock stars in a certain
They
way,
are right,
but they
right,
don't come across like they're trying to do that. They
right.
have a very everyman quality to all of them.
Yes. Their
Yeah,
appearance and the whole thing,
yeah, and they
except for
do like
Bryce.
different bands too. Like Troy, the more gruff singer guy,
Mhm.
he does a stuff that sounds. He does a band called Gone Is Gone that's way more like '90s alternative heavy music.
Okay.
Way more melodic.
Hmm.
In fact, like in that band is a guy that played with not only Failure but also Tool at some point.
Oh, really?
Or maybe not play with Tool, maybe play with Perfect Circle, which is
Okay.
McCain's other band.
Hmm.
And but yeah, it's just and then the drummer is in a band that's like a total synth band. Like he plays
Really?
drums. It's literally drums and synthesizers and then
Wow.
vocals.
Okay.
So like they're definitely like an interesting group of people.
Right on. Yeah. And
And
I feel like what's the other guitarist player name?
Bill,
Bill? Yeah, I feel like he probably smells like really good hair product.
Bill
His hair is
is a
very
total dork. He's literally a guy that like there's an interview with him and he's talking about his guitar technique and behind him is a wall of Star Wars figures. Like action figures still in the box
right.
covering his wall. That's
Okay.
Bill.
Okay. All right. Nice. Nice.
So
Yeah.
anyway, that's right. That
Wow.
we both liked these albums.
Yes. Yep.
I feel like I have like a couple of ideas for where like I want to go next for what I want you to listen to, but
Okay.
there's also a part of me that like wants to do what I said earlier, where I said I just want to go to the record store and see what pops out.
Yep. Yep.
Because some of the stuff that like if you go back to that Cranked and Ranked, the most important albums to me, most of them I can't get for you. Most of them are not
'cause they're too
available for
expensive?
me. Yeah, or they don't even make them anymore. I can't
Okay.
send you a Fudge Tunnel album. They haven't been repressed since the '90s. There's like no, and
Right.
they didn't even in the '90s they didn't press enough of them. So it's like you're hard pressed to find one of those. But there are some here, some things here and there. What?
Okay. Well, that I mean, and like you said, if we have to do it where we just have to do it online to listen to it, that's
No, I love this so much because
well, I do.
you know
said
me, I'm a
limited.
vinyl guy.
Yeah.
And that's how I enjoy music. And it's really the best way I sit down and I really like take it in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even something that like doesn't do anything for me, that I'm there in the moment with it
Right on.
playing and my thoughts about it, not
Okay.
distracted by fucking anything. So I love that.
Nice. So, do you have any idea what movie I'm gonna watch?
I have it narrowed down to two,
Okay.
and I haven't decided which one I want to do because they're both very different movies.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm assuming we're gonna keep doing this once a month, so there will be another.
Yeah. So, okay, we can talk about it now, but this will
Okay.
be the end of the episode can be us talking
yep.
about this. So I sent you like 10 of my favorite movies.
Yep.
And there's two that are very different that I would love to get your take on. One of them is The Commitments, which is an Irish movie
Yes.
about
I've never seen it.
a soul band.
Sold a lot of the soundtracks when I was in record stores. That was a very
Great
popular
soundtrack.
record for it. Yep. Yep.
Other one is Juice, which is
Oh,
a
yeah, I've never seen that
90s
one.
urban drama
Right. Yeah.
starring Tupac.
Yeah, Tupac, right? Yeah.
Very different movies.
Okay.
And I don't
I
almost
didn't see that one either.
I almost feel like I'm leaning towards The Commitments because the Commitments to me is a movie that I feel I could, if somebody that like is a cinephile, is that the word? I could give them I could give
guess,
them that
yeah.
movie
Right. Right.
and I could look at them in the face and go, "This is a good movie."
Oh, okay.
Whereas Juice, if I would be like, "Look, there's great things about this movie."
Right.
But like Commitments, so I feel like it's almost like good for me to lean the other way from Wayne's World to now going to a movie where I go, look, direction wise, acting wise, music wise, editing wise, I feel like this is a great movie.
I would love to see it.
So I feel like Commitments might be where I talked myself into Commitments.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see it. If that's
So
it.
yeah, because it's like it's there. Yeah, because I feel like it's similar in the respect that Wayne's World and The Commitments are both a movie that I will put on and I just let the vibes wash over me and I fucking love it. But
Right.
Commitments is a movie where I'm just like, it's just so well done.
Okay.
The director of the movie is Alan Parker, who did Pink Floyd The Wall. That was one of his movies too.
right.
And then
Love
later
that,
he
yeah.
did some other movies too. But what's the guy? There's actually an actor in, because The Commitments is all like, he cast musicians, like actual musicians.
Okay.
They're not. They
So
are
when they
actors.
are filmed playing, they're playing.
They're playing. Well, I mean, they may be playing to pre-recorded stuff that they played
Okay.
for editing purposes or whatever. I'm sure that's probably
Sure.
how they did it. But there's one guy who was in, what the fuck was the name of his band? It was an Irish band. The Frames, I think is the name of the band that he was in. The Frames.
Okay.
Very talented dude who went on to have like a really great career. And he was actually in a movie. There's a movie that came out in the early 2000s early 2000s called Once, which is literally just a movie about these two musicians hanging out in the city and nothing really happens.
They're street. They play on the street. Yeah, I saw that. That was a good movie.
He is one of the guys that's in the band in the Commitments.
Great. So are you gonna make a commitment to The Commitments?
I think I am, because I also want to watch that movie again myself because I fucking love it so much.
Okay. And
Also,
that is one of the reasons I'm swimming to Cambodia. I want you to see, because
I like that idea. That's an interesting, different movie. So I'll do that. But so Commitments for you, which is also like, I'm pretty sure that if you look it up, The Commitments is one of the top usage of the word fuck in any movie. Like there's like Scarface and all these other movies that like fuck is in so many
Big
times.
Lebowski.
The Commitments, I think The Commitments blows Big Lebowski out of the water.
Oh,
for
really?
fucks.
With how many times? Feck.
Just imagine like it's Irish people and everyone's like fuck off. Every fucking thing is fuck.
Right. Okay. Great.
There's a great scene in the beginning of the movie where they talk about like a band name and like his idea is the band's going to be called and immediately the guy goes immediately the guy goes and fucking and
fucking and. Right.
Anyway.
Wasn't Kiss going to be called fuck in the beginning?
Kiss was going to be called. Well, no, they were called Kiss. They were before that. They were there was a band called Wicked Lester.
No, but I mean,
no. Join us for the Peter Criss book where he talks about everybody's dicks.
yeah, and I got to tell you, he says they were anyway. I think he says I've heard that they were going to be called fuck, but then they thought that wasn't going to go over well, so they moved it to Kiss because it was also sexual.
Oh, that must be. I wonder if that's one of those stories that like didn't actually happen, but they ran with it. You know,
when we do a book review, when you and I talk about a book sometime, and I do feel we should talk about the same book because books are so fucking long.
Well,
There's
I
no
want to read
reason.
the Adam Ant book.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I could mail it to you, but you'd have to mail it back.
No, I'll buy the fucking Adam Ant book. It's got to be on Amazon's or some shit.
Okay, stand and deliver.
Okay, especially like if I listen to what is this album called? Prince Charming. If I listen to it does things for me, I'm gonna want to read his book because that's just how it works with me. Like if I get into bands and they are interesting to me and I want to learn about them, and Adam Ant is obviously somebody that is not enough out there to read about.
Okay.
So anyway, what movies though? Do you so swimming to Cambodia for me?
Yes, please.
Commitment, the Commitments for you.
Yes,
Commitments.
totally. So as we're closing this up, because we did good, I think we're still under 3 We're still under 3 hours.
We're about 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So when you were talking to Eddie about the fact that you sent me the Mastodon record and that I had sent you the Adamant record, so this is really funny because I told you, I said I wonder what Eddie's going to think about Adam and the Ants because he's English and I wonder what his take on him is or whatever.
Yeah.
So when you're like, yeah, so I sent Mark I sent Mark the Mastodon record. I sent Smirl the Mastodon record, and he goes, oh, he got excited. His eyebrows went up. He looked right at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Then you said, so he sent me an album by Adam and the Ants, and he goes, oh, okay. And he
also did Stand and Deliver.
Well, he did. But I thought he just kind of disengaged. And at one point I thought he was like, wonder how you're going to like that one or whatever. Yeah. I was trying to gauge.
I do think that if you're a younger person in England, you're probably like fucking Adam Ant.
Right. No, probably. Sure. No, right. Exactly. Like Michael Bolton. He would be like Michael Bolton here. Well, no. Which we love Michael Bolton.
He would be like Sting over here, probably.
Oh, okay. Well,
Sting is also British. Oh,
yeah, I was going to say he's also English. Yeah, that's why I went for Michael Bolton.
Michael Bolton wasn't big enough here. Neither was Kenny G.
Okay, who was really big?
The number one album in the country was never Michael Bolton.
It wasn't?
No, never. I mean, it wasn't like of the year. You know what I mean? Like it was Michael Jackson or somebody else.
Sure. But Michael Jackson is big in England.
Yeah, that's true. Michael Jackson was big everywhere.
Yeah, he was huge. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't have to recommend any Michael Jackson album for you because do you want to know? Do you want to know? Like sonically, one of the best sounding albums ever made in the history of music is the album "Dangerous" by Michael Jackson. Like literally, you put that fucking thing on, it sounds fucking fantastic.
Is that the one where he broke out all the car windows in the video and all that?
He did in the end of the black or white video. But every time I play that album, I'm just like, this is sonically perfect.
Okay,
everything sounds fucking perfect in this album. It's insane how good it sounds, and I'm sure it cost millions of dollars to make too.
Was that a big one for him though?
It was his last really big album.
Okay,
because that had like several hit songs on it, and Black or White was on that one. Keep It in the Closet, that's on there too. You also got Jam is on there, which was a hit as well.
Yeah, that one was big. Yeah.
I feel like there was Remember the Time. Do you remember the time when we fell in love? Do you remember?
Yeah, but no Smooth Criminal though.
When we Smooth Criminal's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's that's one of those guys that I refuse. I'm still on I'm on those things where I'm just like
art.
There was no proof.
Oh,
and all the cases were thrown out. He was not convicted of anything.
He paid.
But also the people that came out and did the whole documentary about being molested by him, they were outed as being paid for it. So there's enough up in the air now.
Okay, look, I don't want to believe it. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I don't want to believe it. Like, I don't want to believe it.
No, neither do I.
I literally do not want to believe it.
Can we let's just both agree to live in denial and enjoy Michael Jackson.
Yeah, no, totally. Completely.
I love him so 100%.
Much. Yeah, of course. So, but
anyway,
in case he did, I'm really sorry that he did that.
But here's the thing. I'm so strict with that kind of stuff that if he had been convicted and had publicly said, I did this and I'm sorry, I would literally not own any Michael Jackson anymore.
Oh, okay.
But there is so much gray area and there's so much manipulation. Sure. There's so much proof that he was manipulated and people were paid to do stuff that I'm just wow. So there's it's not like Bill Cosby where I'm never going to fucking listen to. That's a sad thing. I love Bill.
That's a very sad thing.
Growing up listening to Bill Cosby comedy records. Loved
the best. So good. All of it.
But Fat
Albert. Come on.
But the fact that he's convicted and there's no no
doubt.
Yeah, there's nothing is pointed to. Oh no, these charges are bullshit. Nothing is pointed to that.
Really, nothing.
Not that I know of.
Okay, I'm just curious because you know me. I'm very sensitive for when America decides to fucking publicly go after a black guy in our society. It's like
it also doesn't help when when he was going to court for that shit, he was not taking it seriously at all.
He wasn't?
Didn't. No, he was acting like a douchebag the whole fucking time.
I felt so bad about it. And of course, I do not like sexual molestation, and consent is like my favorite fucking thing in the entire world. So trust me. Like right? I mean, that's, you know what I mean? So I take that shit very seriously. And
Here on Summum Bonum, we love consent.
We love it. It's like a number one most. It's
chocolate and consent, two of the best things in the world.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, like, I was so, because like that comedy special too, Bill Cosby himself.
Oh, fuck
was
yeah.
Like so fucking good.
Huge for me when I was a kid. Huge.
Yeah. And it's like, and I just did not want to.
And it honestly,
so
you want to know why that, before we wrap it up here, you want to know why that really hurt my feelings? Because like, not only was I young when the Cosby Show was out, so I watched that.
Sure.
But
yeah.
One of the only members of my family that like I truly really liked was my grandfather on my mom's side. Okay. And he was a very quiet, kind of awkward guy like me, but he owned a lot of like comedy records, and he owned like Bill Cosby and like Flip Wilson, like he owned them.
Oh,
and
yeah. Flip.
So my memories of Bill Cosby are my grandfather playing those. Sure. And I just like, he had like other people too, but like those were the two that really stuck with me, was Bill Cosby and Flip Wilson. And so like, I'm just like, fuck you, Bill, for ruining that memory of my grandfather now. Luckily, my grandfather like passed away before like all of this came out. But I'm still just like, man, I want to be able to sit down and listen to to my brother Russell, whom I slept with, that whole thing. Yeah. And I'm just like, what a piece of shit. I'm just like not only like, that's literally, you're a piece of shit two different times for two different reasons. One, you've violated these fucking people and ruined their lives, but then you ruined other people's lives because your shit was so important to us.
So important.
So I'm just like, fuck you, fuck Bill Cosby. And so, and he has the audacity to, now that he's out, be like, I'm gonna go do some comedy gigs. I'm like, fuck you, Bill Cosby.
So did he admit to it?
I don't know if he did, but he was found guilty. And but here's the thing: I haven't seen anything that came out that shed any shadow of a doubt.
Okay.
At all.
Yeah, I couldn't pay attention to it. It just made me so sad. I mean, for all the reasons. Yeah, like that he did that those women had to go through that, that he made, that he did that, and then just watching him get shattered, it sucks so bad.
And then fucking just recently, fucking Malcolm Jamal Warner passes away.
Oh yeah, right.
Theo from right, he drowned. Right. Yeah, and from what I hear, he drowned trying to save his kid.
Yeah, that's right.
That's exactly. Fucking depressing. And like, he had to go through all that, all those other cast members from that show, from that fucking legendary show,
right?
That it will now never be played on television ever again.
Oh yeah, right. Of course.
And all of those other people were affected by that too. All these great people. Right. I mean, some of them, maybe some of them aren't great. I don't fucking know. But from what I know, Malcolm Jamal Warner was fucking great. Sure. And he like had to live this whole period of his life where he's just like, well, shit, now people hate this thing that I was in, and then he dies. Like, fucking man, the world is fucking cruel. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Yes.
The world is cruel.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's why we're here.
We hope that Lisa Bonet is okay.
Lisa Bonet,
yeah, we really hope she's okay.
Hey, she got to be with Lenny Kravitz for a little time. That's pretty sweet.
Isn't she with someone cool right now?
Oh, is she?
Oh yeah, it's that guy who plays Aquaman.
Oh, Jason Momoa.
I think
he's a metalhead too. So
well, there you go. If you're watching, Jason, thanks a lot. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Hi, Jason.
And Lisa.
Yep. And Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Yep.
And Lenny Kravitz. Hi, Lenny Kravitz.
Lenny,
thanks for watching, Lenny Kravitz. Of
course. Nicole Kidman. Thank you.
Let Love
Nicole
Rule
Kidman.
is a banger, but the biggest banger in Lenny Kravitz's catalog is that it ain't over till it's over. Oh man, God, such a fucking good song.
I'm with you, man.
He wrote so many great songs. He's a great.
Right.
He's anyway. All right.
Okay.
Next time you see us,
Yep.
we'll be talking about movies.
Yep.
Smirl will be giving his 2 cents on The Commitments.
Yep.
A 90s Irish classic. And then I will be giving my 2 cents on Swimming to Cambodia, which I know very little about, although I do know the guy's name is a name that I recognize and go, I feel like he was talked about.
Gray.
He was talked about a lot around that
Spalding
time.
Gray. Yes, he was. He's an author.
It's weird that his name is so close to Balding and Gray. And I'm just like, everything about him is old dude, but he's probably dead now, right? Spalding Gray's probably dead.
He also did not have a great ending. Oh. He drowned as well.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant he molested people.
No. I don't think he did that. He was maybe molested. Let's put it that way.
Oh, well, it's not good either, but it's like, it's not going to ruin my enjoyment of swimming to Cambodia.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Oh,
so that's
your
next
enjoyment of it.
Well, I might enjoy it. Honestly, a movie like that, I can't imagine that I won't enjoy it.
Right.
Because something like that is always entertaining to me.
Fantastic.
And
by the way, we broke 200 views on our last video just the other day.
Way.
201, I believe, is what it was.
So to you, other handful of people, dozen people or so, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed
so much.
Summum Bonum.
Summum Bonum.
Yeah.
Summum Bonum.
Summum
Glacklaheho. That's my
Apache or Apaho.
Apache or Apaho.
All right.
Okay.
All
this is beautiful. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.